ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Welcome back to ESL Pro League. Tonight, well, it's where the magic happens because everything comes down to some of the matches that are going to be played out. Every single team can currently make the finals, but some, they're already trying to avoid relegation. That's the likes of NaVi, who recently picked up some added firepower. But nonetheless, my name is Flakes. I'm going to be taking you through tonight's action. And it's, well, it's set to be incredible. Nonetheless, the man, the myth. I want to talk to you, Snods, real quick.
You're going to call me a legend as well, are you?
It's debatable. We've got to get there. We'll see how the knowledge stands up tonight.
Fair enough, mate, yeah.
Fair enough, yeah. Before we get into knowledge, though, I want to talk about Intel, because you like streaming. I've seen you do some streams, some ESA pucks every now and then.
I've never streamed before.
We tried.
We've definitely tried.
Well.
This is what I mean. You didn't call me a legend. Now I'm just going to have to burn you on the desk.
Now. It's just not gone well. He's never streamed in his life, but if he was going to stream...
I wish.
If you're going to stream, what CPU would you use?
Intel, of course, mate.
Of course he would, yeah. Intel, of course. The world is watching. Get all your stuff there to stream without compromise. There we go. We rolled off the tongue. Just like that.
Yeah.
You got to give me something here. Come on. Give me something.
I don't know. What do you want? Intel? Do you want to roll off the tongue? I don't know what you're trying to throw at me right here. This is a pretty open-ended question.
We're going to go to the standings. Let's look at how people have played out throughout ESL Pro League so far. FaZe Clan are right up on top, 14-8, matched by Fnatic as well.
Yeah, I mean, FaZe Clan, Fnatic at the top. That's been really the same story throughout the whole of the Season 6 Pro League season. One of the things as well is, obviously, I cast the first 2 weeks. I think it's like, what, week 3, 4. And now the top 6 has definitely changed drastically. When I was casting it, you had Big Clan up there, you had LDSC up there. They're still doing very well, you know, at 7th, but it seems like over the course of the 20, 25 matches, you can see the real consistency of these Tier 1 teams. As now, you know, you're looking at North, Astralis, G2, Fnatic, FaZe Clan. These are the teams, the legend status teams.
For sure. You got some incredible names in there. I mean, you got some incredible players. And talking of incredible players, I do kind of want to get straight into kind of what tonight's all about. So let's bring up tonight's matches for you, and it kind of really tells the tale from there. Of course, Electronic is going to be the man to talk about, as Astralis versus NaVi is a series that we'll be taking on the second stream.
It is indeed the series we'll be taking. So obviously, first map being Nuke, second map being Inferno. And yeah, I mean, I'm actually quite surprised by this veto. It depends on two things. Either Astralis has basically banned out all of those aim-style, puggy-style maps, your caches, your mirages, your you know, those sort of caliber maps, and they've left in more of the, you know, expecting overpasses, nukes, where tactics play a big factor. And I think this is a really good veto from Astralis. The reason being is, if you're playing versus a brand new team, Ryan, you don't want to be playing maps which can fall back on skill. You want to be playing the tactical, strategic, heavy maps.
Well, that kind of leads me on to my initial kind of point of discussion for tonight, which is, when you're building this brand new team, you've got players like Simple on that lineup, who has effectively been shackled a fair bit now. Let's be realistic. We know Simple has so much potential, but, you know, for example, NaVi, bottom of the board on Pro League right now. Just get that in your minds. They may be at the bottom, but Simple is the highest rated player in Pro League. Yeah,
one of the things as well I was going to touch on about the leaderboard and how it's shaped up right now. Yes, NaVi are currently at the bottom, but one of the things as well is they have a -11 round difference, which means over the course of, I think it's 13 or 14 losses and the 7 victories they have, they've been very, very close games. You're looking at 16-13, 16-12, 16-14s, where time and time again, those close crunch time games go in favour of their opposition.
That's what it comes down to, right? You know, closing the games out, and that's been a problem for NaVi. They've been struggling over a lot. I mean, the past 6 months really has been a bit of a bleak picture in itself, but hopefully Electronic can be a bit of a revitalized aggression for them, I think. I'm expecting that loose kind of pop-like play, a lot of quick peaks.
I think the complete opposite, actually.
No?
I reckon Simple's going to be the pop-like player, as you just said there. And I actually feel like if you're an IGL like Zeus, you want someone like Electronic in your team, someone who's a lot more stable, a lot more composed as a player, where they're not going to randomly push through these smokes. They're not going to jump through a smoke with an op, try 180 someone on 3.5 cents, you know what I mean? You want someone where you can make strategies off of Electronic. You can build rounds and teams off of Electronic and Simple, having in that 1-2 punch combo where you have the, you know, the initiative plays from Simple chimed in, but also as a cooler, it makes it a lot more easy to strategically develop yourself as a team, having more of a stable player.
Well, I mean, you talk about the caller, of course. We have to talk about Zeus and Kane, Azure there for sure. We talked about them a lot kind of
From Gambit,
when they returned recently. There's a lot of history there, and I think that structure that you're at least defining is definitely going to come from those two working together hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean, for Kane as well, I mean, obviously we speak about Electronic and how having not just your coach, but also your IGL, how much that really does aid you having more of a stable player. Thorin released a video recently, I think it was yesterday, I was watching it, about, this Electronic move to NaVi and how it's going to shape up. One of the things, got to give credit where it's due, is he mentioned about the fact that now you can have Simple as your guns blazing, more initiative style of player, where he's going to be going for those timed pushes, and you have more of a stable, collected, calm player in Electronic, right? When you think of all the Electronic highlights, okay, going through in my mind right now, it seems like they're always after plant positions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like a 1 versus 3, the bomb's down. If you had that 1 versus 5 on Nuke, the bomb was down on the B bomb site. And that's because you have a highlight player like Simple. Those early kills are coming at the start of the round. For a player like Electronic, it's slow, steady, and in those 3 versus 3s, in those 2 versus 2s, he really shines.
It'll be interesting to see if he kind of starts to steal away the spotlight from players like Zipnix, who have been known for his clutch-making ability recently.
Okay, yeah.
That's where we're going with that one.
Different team, mate.
I know you were definitely curious, but I wanted to kind of tie that in because, of course, that's where we're seeing the likes of Astralis come into play. And he was known for his clutch-making ability throughout the events this year as a whole. So when we talk about Electronic, when we talk about his effect in those latter stages of the round, when he effectively is the decision-maker in a lot of these circumstances, Electronic may have a chance to try and steal that title away.
Potentially. Then again, these, for a player like Electronic, I don't think it's quite as composed as Zipnix. He watches 1 versus 3s. They're very calm. They're very at ease. He makes it so easy.
Almost.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, obviously, to round up the whole of the NaVi roster, go on the Betway odds in just a second, but to go whole of the NaVi roster now, with the removal of Seized on loan now to Flipside, adding in Electronic more firepower, I really like the look of this roster. The reason being is you have Edward and Zeus, more of your supportive players. They can now flash in the likes of Simple, the likes of Flamey. You can build rounds off of the Flamey Electronic 1-2 duo going into the sites. You have Simple being the wild card, the factor, which you don't really know what's going into it. He can drop 25, 30 kills every single map. And I think it's a really stable roster.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be an exciting one to watch. Of course, money talks, and you guys at home, you've been putting your money down on the line over on Betway. 1.5 is
That is really good odds. Considering that this is a brand new team from NaVi, I was expecting 1.3 to 3, 1.2 even to 3.5.
We just don't know what's going to happen. I feel like you can look at the stats, so you can look at the history all you want. But
I think one of the reasons as well is the fact that Astralis just lost an ECS to G2. So I reckon if Astralis had 2-0, G2 and ECS, this could have been a 1.3 to 3 odds. So I actually think for the better people out there, something like to put your money where your mouth is, I would definitely go for an Astralis bet right now. Well,
you got about 10 seconds for this question, but composure, you're a player yourself, you've played in the past at a fairly competitive level.
Premier,
After a loss, 20 minutes, that's literally all it's been practically. How are they going to move themselves going forward into this?
Doesn't really make too much difference. These are professionals, they can wipe that out of their memory like that. This is online games as well. I'm sure they're doing very well in ECS, so the fact that they lost to 2-0 makes no difference.
Cool, that's good to hear. Let's see how this one does play out. We are live on Nuke. Astralis versus Natives Finseer, that recent edition of Electronic, going to be the player to watch, but overall, everyone on NaVi, the spotlights are on them.
Yeah, Simple actually being the one to buy utility right now, Smoke and Flashbang. But regardless, though, it seems like the late contact play towards ramp will be the call from Zeus. And so far, Kiabi, if he keeps pushing it, if he keeps getting information, they know that it's going to be towards the A site. They can stack the A site thoroughly. They have already got 3 players here.
Already the first kill being claimed. Dupree, the man to find a headshot on Flamey. Zeus opening up for a swift second on Dupree to at least trade things back. Electronic a good position, but an awkward reload means he'll lose his head to Glaive. More being done now by Zeus again. Another reload. This is almost just tragic to watch. Backwards and forwards, the pistols will swing, but it will be Glaive to edge things out to a workable standpoint now for the CT side. 2 versus 3. Simple now towards Heaven. We'll find 1. Makes this a much more easy round for NaVi in the 2 versus 2. It's a good position, but he needs to be able to do something with it. 55 seconds on the clock, at least time is on the side of NaVi. They've got a bit to work with. Trying to peek out. Simple seeing if he can etch a kill. On towards Zipnix, struggling somewhat as the shots will not quite connect. Zipnix finally pulling away with a frag on Edward.
No Kevlar here for Simple. 1 versus 2. And obviously has to find both these heads. 40 seconds left. The bombs drop towards default, and now they can hold on to the bomb.
Don't even need to do that. That was quick.
Exactly that. So 2 versus 3. Simple comes from Heaven. Suddenly you think there's a chance of the round. The problem is when you're trying to retake a site without Kevlar, it can be a very, very difficult task. I think one of the biggest differences we saw there from Astralis versus NaVi was that outside push from Kirby. Pushing towards outside, getting the information, which means It's not as if they're going to go do the smokes outside, go down lower steps, go towards the B side. It's either going to be a vent rush down towards B, a ramp play towards B, or an upper rush. They had 3 players there. Their players was Heaven, which were going to be fast rotations anyway towards B. If it went B, very well played from Astralis.
And that A sounds quite predictable. That's really what I'm getting from that. As the pre moves forward, now venturing out with his P90. The man is hungry, but his back was turned. Electronic will happily capitalize on that. As more is being done by Device, starting to pull out some money here. Double kill, make that a third by Zipnix. Glaive finishing off for a Thorf. And this is where the cookie begins to crumble for NaVi overall, as Edward is just kind of one man standing, somehow gets 2, but Kirby will finally put the final nail in the coffin.
Actually, that's a very good round from NaVi. When you consider the fact that they actually bought nothing there.
Just 3 kills, there's a lot of damage.
Exactly, it is indeed. So off the back of that, they will be going for the buy. Claiming 3 heads as well from Astralis, which means 2 players that survived have to drop. One of the players has to buy up what he has left. That's going to be Dupree. He wasn't dropped an M4 for one of the survivors, which means he has to go for the UMP. 4 rifles, 3 M4s, Fatmaster for Zipnix. Dupree on the UMP. But on the flip side, ironically, it will be NaVi simple with the UMP. But already, enough of the talk. Kirby finds the first of the M4. Already a man advantage here for Astralis once again.
I think NaVi wanted an early advantage there as well. I mean, you just take a glance at the utility. They've already got nothing left, and then you look up the map and you see what have they gained.
Exactly that. In terms of information right now, it's all in the ballpark for Astralis. They're expecting a play towards upper or towards ramp. But as I said, the Zeus lurking towards the ramp position will find the head of Zipnix, and now suddenly he can apply so much pressure to the CT side.
It's a real pain for Device. Basically forces him to just to stick there and basically not going to do anything. Unfortunately, Glaive, even I don't see him, tucked up in the corner, manages to trade it back with Zeus completely stunned in surprise.
Exactly. I believe Glaive there wasn't expecting the buy, expecting more of a rush towards ramp. That's why they went for the boost there. And instead, it will pay its dividends later on, as even on the buy round, NaVi still opt to go towards ramp.
50 seconds. Every little notch of play from NaVi now will mean something, as they just really have no foothold in the round. They're going to look to try and find something towards ramp potentially, but it's all questions with no answers. A great flash pushing the back even further. This is Astralis making use of those final pieces of utility that they do have, as Glaive then positions those nice and perfectly tucked in the corner and should pretty much be able to drop them both dead, just like that. 2 kills. Looking for a third. He gets hungry with his USP. Sure, it's a trade kill, but what does it mean when there's 20 seconds left? You've got Dupree on big flank. This should not be doable by Electronic. 18 seconds, tapping away. Device to finish him.
3 players surviving once again from Astralis. Once these players do buy up for the CT side, it's going to be interesting to see what their money's looking like. Already $3,000-ish across the board aggregately. And for NaVi now, seems likely they will be going for the save. They can invest into a, Smoke, PT50, or even a Deagle. You can see Flamey buying right now. But apart from that, this is a round now for Astralis where they can really put their foot down, have 4 or 5 stay alive, have a clean round, build up your economy. You want to have $4,000 to $6,000 in your bank, just in case you lose that next Byron, so you can reinvest, rebuy back, and keep applying the pressure.
Talk about pressure, 2 nades towards outside are going to claim the life of Flamey very early on, and then you add into the mix the position of the likes of Kirby, and that should lead to some deadly play. Edward at least able to climb in with one, though. The trusty Deagle, of course, always doing the work. Simple getting a second. It is starting to become a costly round for Astralis. Don't get me wrong, they're 3-0, but 3 kills, 2 pistols, that is a significant win for NaVi.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, obviously, early on into the game, money plays a massive factor, right? If this was 11-11 or 12-12 and, Astralis is still claiming the rounds, even though they've got, low amount of players surviving, that'd be a completely different commodity at that point. But right now, early on into the game, you can see the economical hemorrhage that NaVi have been performing onto Astralis. Look at the money right now. Only a Device having over $1,000, which means 1 round away from Nartis Vincere resetting the money now versus Astralis. And if they can reset the money, Ryan, they can very easily claim 3 rounds. You win this first buy round, 4-1. You win versus the Force by the weak Force, maybe 1 or 2 M4s, 4-2. You win versus the Eco, 4-3, then suddenly you're back into this one. This right here, Ryan, is a massive round going forward to determine this first half.
Well, let's see how it plays out. I mean, it's a good position from Kirby, a lot of information that he's trying to pick up. You've got Device playing with him, going hand in hand with this AWP. No pressure being applied towards Secret, though, meaning that, well, they have no reward just yet. NaVi playing that same old, very slow style of Counter-Strike. Just moving up with these mollies, starting to clear things out.
Here comes the play towards outside there from Nartis Vincere. So you can see they're lacking the strats and the time in the server alone where they can go and build up these executions, as right now, It will be the contact play towards outside. Let's see if they can slowly take control of the map, but right now it's only 55 seconds left.
I'm concerned because it feels like everyone from Astralis is in position. They're exactly where they need to be. They hold all the information. They hold all the cards. They begin to play their hand. Simple, trying desperately to get something back. And, well, it's a pick on towards Glaive at the start. But you're still in that 4v3. You've still got very little time to spare. And you've still got nothing on the map. It's the same storyline for NaVi over and over again.
Flaming now towards Garage. Simple as well, going to be joining him towards the lobby. The bomb is down, but I believe it is still in possession of NaVi. 4 versus 3, 25 seconds left. This could even be a save here, Ryan.
I don't think it'd be a bad plan either, to be honest. Just thinking of just how NaVi's economy is. When you've got players like Xyp9x getting aggressive on you now, I mean, it has to be just that. 2 kills, that save is starting to fall apart, and it's not even going to be that. 5-0, Astralis couldn't ask for any better of a start going into this game.
Yeah, I mean, 5-0 right now. You have a 5-round advantage going forward. You've just seen the buy run as well from NaVi, where they've done the smoke towards their main. They've tried to challenge your player towards outside. One of the issues is, if you're on the T side, and you're playing versus the CTs, and they're not giving you that first kill, it's very hard to work the rest of the round. It's not as if they find a kill towards Garage, right? They might take out the AWP from device. Suddenly, Secret's weak. Suddenly, you could go for an A split via a main. There's so many differences that can go on, but when Astralis aren't giving away the early kill, it's very hard for NaVi to open up the map.
If you talk about the early kill, I mean, if you want to look at that past round, I think it was Glaive who moved away back into a Secret, back to that AWP, and that was such a crucial moment. That's exactly what you say, is now Device has to hold down outside. Pistols crossing through those smokes, venturing hopefully deep into the likes of Secret, but damage being done by Dupree, spraying on through. You've got Kirby tucked into the corner. This is going to be deadly. There's one going for a second. Flamey will trade. Makes it even. Now there is Kevlar backing these rifles, so a lethal concoction, but they have to play it right.
Yeah, that armor makes a massive difference. Minute 5 from the clock here, rotation coming in via vents. Xyp9x as well, a massive play into this round. If you can find the kill onto Zeus, it denies the split via ramp and of course via vent.
Struggling, but there you go, 4 bursts. Enough is enough, the kill will be found.
Yeah, 2 versus 3 now. Low HP for Flamey. Device has the stairs now towards long at the B bomb site. Glaive has control of, if they have gone outside, they've looked towards heaven, or if they come up vent, he can still get that frag. A very hard round for NaVi to win.
I just feel like overall it's another circumstance for Astralis where they have the answers to really anything that NaVi can throw at them. Simple looking for an opportunity down towards door. He's being held off by Device, but the damage is done. 12 HP, 20 seconds on the clock. 2 excruciatingly low plays. A frag grenade on Glaive.
Bomb does go down. 19 HP there for Flamey, 12 for Simple, and now they have decent after-plant positions. It all comes down to this kill.
Oh, the timing. Simple wins it out. Somehow taking down Glaive, leaving just Xyp9x, the clutch man himself, gets the first kill, looking now for the second, being tagged up by Flamey, but that is it. Natives Sincere, they get themselves there first, with just the pistols.
Yeah. Simple onto low HP, playing the off angle. He knows that he's going to get the first bullet onto Glaive. He wasn't playing a typical angle, which Glaive would be pre-firing. He played the off angle by the doors, just outside of them, which meant he caught that split-second advantage versus Glaive, and with that, he capitalizes off of it. He will go 5-1 as NaVi managed to conjure up their first round, but at the cost of only 1 player surviving, which means their economy is on a knife's edge.
So they take a look at Astralis. An SMG on Glaive, CZ on Xyp9x.
Yeah, I said the money was low for the CT side right now. It's going to be the op for Device. Glaive, MP9, CZ for Xyp9x, M4s for Dupree and Kirby. Issue right now for the CT side is they're lacking the defuse kit. If NaVi play another slow round, 15 seconds left, 10 seconds left, bleed out the low amount of utility right now for the CT side, and get the bomb down, this is going to be hard.
I thought we were seeing a welcome change or seeing some good early damage, but it's Astralis, the team to convert them into actual frags. Electronic, 14 HP, the picks coming in, Device so close at a knife's edge with the AWP, but Edward will take his head. But a trade comes in from Kirby, Dupree getting aggressive again, may well be able to catch up a player's Secret, but no, Flamey sporadically moves back, flash on over, looking for more. Xyp9x, a good position in vent, however, could well cut off any rotations that come in.
2 versus 3. Kirby and Xyp9x are low. 55 seconds, and when Zeus is your IGL, that's pretty much years to try and work the map as Flamey. He knows there should be another player outside. He's trying to find this extra player outside because he knows someone has to be towards the CT steps, towards heaven, holding for the positions towards outside. And Glaive is that said player, but instead, they have managed to find their way down secret steps. We'll look at the opposition holding the line.
I like this angle. I love the player holding it too, but he has to land a shot. That's a given. The double peek here from NaVi should come through. Actually, just a simple shoulder peek will push him back somewhat. Buys them a bit of time, but the molly being pulled out towards door is going to be devastating. 17 seconds on the clock. They cannot push. at that point, the round may well be lock and key. They try. Flamey does pull through with a kill, but Zipnix should be able to solidify this. The Molly blocking him off. They might actually be able to pull through with the plant. The USP tapping away. It is done. Astralis off the back of Glaive will reset.
Oh, he does have to time as well. No money. $800 for Flamey. 1.4K for Electronic. This was the issue I said, Ryan, was NaVi, yes, you had that incredible 2 versus 3 when the players are low HP. The problem is you have no extra players surviving, which means no extra cash. Your money's going to be so low. We can see a pause coming out as well. I imagine it's going to be from NaVi because right now they have to discuss their opportunity into this round. They're going to have to go for the force buy potentially. Electronic can still buy CZ. Kevlar, Flamey can, buy Kevlar, maybe get dropped to PT50 by Zeus or something. Simple can buy AK, Kevlar, Smoke, double flashbang. What you can do, we can try and work with this, is potentially have Simple lead for a ramp, a contact play towards a ramp. But obviously, you're always going to be in an uphill struggle into this round when you are putting it all onto one AK. But then again, if there's one player that can really go huge in a round, it will be Simple.
I have a simple question to throw at you as you do say his name. For our viewers at home who aren't totally familiar with Counter-Strike and they're brand new to Nuke, what would be an expected scoreline here at the end of halftime? What do NaVi really need to find on their T-side?
I reckon this could go easily 11-4, 10-5 at best for NaVi. When you look at the money as well, if they lose this round here, Ryan, it's going to go 7-1. They're on Eco, 8-1. Yeah, I reckon at best 11-4. If everything goes incredible for them in the buy rounds, maybe a 10-5.
Almost best case. That's bleak. We saw aggression come in from Kirby, spraying rapidly for 2, but only getting close to 1. Glaive able to trade things out, making it a quick 4 versus 4. They're pretty good position with the shotgun. Has to be so careful, relying almost on timing. As he positions himself for this push, getting almost close to spotting out the shoulder of Simple, but finding nothing.
4 versus 4, 1:20 left on the clock, and you can see the players from NaVi exiting lobby. Potentially going to go back towards outside. This could mean they are going to try and aim towards A main and split towards the A site. Or conversely, a play towards Secret Stairs. Try and get back down in towards the B bomb site. The one round they have won was on the B site. Can they try and replicate that?
Smoke's coming out. Starting to move themselves back towards Secret once again. This has been the bread and butter of NaVi. Everything they've been doing is towards outside. These basically 3 smokes up towards rafters and the 2 that allow you to walk to Secret, basically.
Exactly that. And now they're down Secret. In a 4 versus 4, when you lose players in the CT side on Nuke, it's so hard to recalibrate your CT side defense. But NaVi seems to be on the ball.
He's changed it up as well. He's not hugging that left corner that Zipnix was hugging. He's standing on the right-hand side, which is just another small, tiny tidbit of information. But when you look at the way NaVi will try and cross and out their shoulder peek, they'll check for it. It just makes it problematic, really, as he's going to be playing off the back of the stairs, finds himself 1, does get dinked down somewhat as they push on up. Edward actually being able to claim the kill. Electronic finding a second, but then the shotgun finally adds a bit of spice into the round, playing in vent, basically locking it down. 2 HP and 5 HP. It's 1 shot. That's all it takes. He lands 2. He gets himself 2 frags. Astralis, 7-1.
Yeah, most likely they're going to go 8-1 as well when you look at the money from NaVi. $2,000 across the board. No chance for an orbit to the first buy unless Electronic goes for a double save. But so far, not very good from NaVi. One of the issues they're having right now is, at the start of the rounds, the pushes are coming out from Astralis. You have Kiabi pushing towards outside, he's getting so much information, they're expecting to play towards ramp. Zeus is pushing it, but after the first time they found success, it hasn't really worked too well for them. This could have easily been an 8-0 if they didn't have the miracle 2 versus 3.
I mean, it is interesting just to talk about the predictability of NaVi. I feel like Astralis have got a read very early on exactly what Zeus has tried to do, and we basically haven't seen anything too fresh.
I think the biggest thing we've seen so far is the fact that Astralis are so used to playing versus the likes of NaVi.
A few kills coming in, at least a bomb plant for NaVi. At least there's that.
Yeah, $800 will obviously help you into the next buy round. It could, well, it will mean potentially an orb if NaVi want to bring that one out. X utility as well, so they can go for an execution. They can even go re-execution if they want to try do something a bit fancy. Who knows? Execution towards upper, bait out the Molotovs, and then go for re-hit. Something like that. Something to change up the odds because so far it hasn't really been working. You can see Astralis, as I said before, are very used to playing versus the likes of NaVi. And the reason I can see that is Astralis are using their grenades with 20 seconds left, with 30 seconds left. They're saving their smokes for when the round boils down at the point, usually, when Zeus is making that final mid-round call.
It's interesting you say that. I mean, in terms of the actual direct matchups these 2 teams have taken, there's not been all that much Malmo, but by being the most recent. Nonetheless, an important turning point in the game. That's what this could be, but look at the aggression again. Untethered play from Zipnix, gets himself the kill as well. Now falls back. It's smart. It doesn't give anything up.
All the information players run out are in the court from Astralis. We need to see Electronica go bounce back.
Oh, Zeus tries to push him up, but Glaive is in the right position at the perfect time. Edward desperately trying to clear things out. Electronica, spicy headshot up on towards Zipnix. We'll make it a 3 versus 3.
Yeah, 3 versus 3 right now. Dupree has rotated in through vent now. Playing close towards the stairs. His next kill could be pivotal.
Electronic, Trout peeks into him. Just like that, the advantage handed over. The boys wearing yellow. Kirby starting to rotate now, pondering what his play is going to be. Glaive almost just directly relating to each other. As Kirby will come on down. Noise being made, so NaVi getting a lot more information here, and even a kill. Electronic so close, but it's not enough.
They shouldn't be expecting Glaive as well towards the double doors if he can be there in time. Bomb does go down. Question is right now, what are the after-plant positions going to be from NaVi?
It's ticking. Decisions have to be made. Kirby coming in from ramp. Be so careful of Simple right now as Ed will take the head of Glaive. Leaving just Kirby now. Tapping the nade to be thrown. That could be enough to finish off Simple. 7 HP to Molly. Not even going to get thrown one out. Simple will finish him off, and NaVi plus second out of the bag.
8-2. NaVi will claim their second round, but right now they are still facing the 6-round deficit so far on the T side. An incredible mid-round play there, purely from Electronic. He finds the first kill towards outside, he challenges that first play, goes down the secret stairs, find that crucial kill onto Dupree, really opens up the B bomb site. You saw, even though rotations came in from Glaive and co, it wasn't quite fast enough. NaVi found their way towards the bomb site, and the after-plant positions were too good.
Seeing aggression from Kirby, just playing off of the predictability of the taps of Zeus. Leading to a very nice early kill device in his AWP. Kirby again a second on Edward as he tries to refrag.
But look how aggressive it is again from Astralis. Kirby's able to push in towards lobby, finds the first kill, goes up the ladder, and now he has the overhead position. But Flamey will find 1 kill onto the device, 4 versus 2.
NaVi, the team that are always having to fight back right now, it seems. For a disadvantage to making it doable. As another kill is collected. Simple. Finding the frag on Dupree. Over a minute to work with, which we already talked about the value of time for Zeus.
Issue is, though, they're lacking a smoke onto NaVi. They cannot smoke off their main. Molly out vent, go for the plant. They can't smoke the bomb down, go for the plant, or smoke heaven, molly heaven, and plant default. They need the utility right now to try and get the bomb down. If they're lacking the utility, they have to find the kills.
They do have the mollies, though, for the choke point, so at least a saving grace potentially there.
Problem is, though, Simple has to be wary about Hut, and of course, towards A main. And speaking of A main, outside of it, Flamey will go down. 1 versus 3 now for Simple.
Back down in such a tough spot. 30 seconds on the clock. What could Simple possibly do that molly? We pondered what impact it would have in the round, and well, it does go towards a choke point, just stopping him from pushing on up, but he's too far to the left. That silo not going to save him. Not even a plant coming in for NaVi as they struggle.
Oh. Struggling around and struggle economically as well, Ryan. 2 times now. Both of these buy rounds NaVi have won. They've been instantly reset by Astralis. It's going to be 1.4k for Electronic again. This could be a force buy into a double save. They could try double save it again. Going to the next buy round, they could try have extra utility. You can see already they won't be buying and investing into this one. They know how important the utility is going to the next buy round. They've already tried just going for the force buy and 1 AK, you know, Tech 9s here or there, and it hasn't paid itself off.
Still waiting to see something fresh from NaVi. When it comes down to these buy rounds or something a little more well held together. This play just really hasn't worked out for them. Astralis to pick them off at almost every hurdle. Shot after shot, these pistols starting to be dealt with. NaVi just 2 players now. Simple, trying to survive on 19 HP, but being chased down by Device. They will actually get themselves a few kills. That's thanks to Edward, who's been so impactful with like the Deagles and the USPs and such. Picking up weaponry all over the floor, trying to make it work, but that damage, it's always great. It's always a silver lining. I think that's what I'm going for there. Astralis, if they lose a few players, you've got Glaive and Dupree on 2,200 and 3,250, but they're always just going to get dropped. They're always going to survive. NaVi, not so much.
Yeah, and now they can go for the buy, though. Obviously, they had $2,000-ish. They saved that round, plus the 1.4k. Sorry, plus the 1.9k. It will give them around 3,100. You can see players from NaVi now investing into weaponry. 3 AKs, UMP and a CZ as they try to up the tempo.
The early kill again. Aggression from that CT side into a swift headshot on Zeus. Simple. Now looking to return the fader with the UMP, gets close. The deep smoke is going to be thrown, opts not to block it, not giving away his position. Just sitting tightly packed in the corner as a fight is taken by Device. Another kill. Favouring the Astralis boys, looking worse and worse, but a second Device getting the information on Flamey. Unable to find the kill, but at this point, just even the info on where he's playing towards is enough for the CT side to get themselves in these more aggressive spots.
Exactly. 5 versus 3. Minute left on the clock here. And so far, so very good from Astralis. The first kill is always going in their favour. The advantage always in their disposal. But regardless, though, let's see. Electronic was one of the major difference makers into one of the rounds that NaVi won. Can he try, replicate that, mimic that, and go for a big play once again as right now they make their way towards ramp?
Good flash to be thrown. Defensive play. Kirby needs to be so careful right now, but he's been left unchecked. Creeps on out, but Electronic, unexpected as well. Goes for the double, but doesn't even get the shot off as Zipnix will find the trade. That's such a tough point for NaVi. It just all crumbles from there. A few good kills, but it's the trading game for Astralis. It's when you're at a 4v2, you have manpower to spare. It's such almost a comedic point at this point. As we stand 11-2 in this game, and just look at the money of NaVi, we're back at square one.
Yeah, trying to think of what you can say to NaVi. This is the bigger problem, right? This roster got announced yesterday, but obviously it's been in the works for a few more days. How much time have they had to go over their T-side default on a map like Nuke where they're being pushed from outside, they're being pushed from lobby, they're being pushed from Zipnix towards ramp? Obviously, it's pretty apparent they haven't worked on their default so far. That's one of the issues you can do that sometimes where you're a new team, and I remember when I was a new team as well, you'd instantly go over executes, and you'd forget about your defaults as to where players are holding, good crossfires, good setups. As right now it's always the first kill, and again it's the same exact storyline. Then again, a quick trade kill from Edward means it is a 3 versus, now 4 versus 2.
What it comes down to for NaVi is don't learn to run before you can walk. Simple. The only man left standing. Quickly put into the grave. Pretty stacked up with bodies at this point. Well, hopefully we see some sort of life for NaVi in this final 15th round.
Yeah. So, obviously, if you are NaVi right now after the last round, what are you going to try call? Look at the grenades as well in terms of utility. They have a fair amount. They can go for smokes towards outside. The only issue is you dispose all of your smokes instantly, and then obviously in the middle portions of the round, in the after plan, if you do get towards the B-bomb site, you don't have smokes to smoke off ramp. You don't have smokes to smoke off the positions that need to be warded off. So if you use all your utility early, it really comes back to haunt you. Again, Device gets that first kill, but a good trade this time from Zeus.
Yeah, very good position. It's very early on. The Zipnix goes flying on in. That's disastrous. It all falls to pieces, Kirby. Now the only man left standing for Astralis has to try and bring things back, but Simple knows where he's coming from, holds the angle. The shot's going to be volleyed off, but the kill will not quite be found. Kirby now giving a second chance. The bomb planted down towards B. Simple just keeping him distracted at this point. Kirby had a choice to make. Go vent, go ramp, go for the kill. He actually finds it, just leapfrogging out the window. Making it a 1v1. The molly. Kit, smoke to his name, spots out Zeus even, that's even better. The push comes in, the headshot so close. But Zeus will claim the round, 12-3. A devastating performance from NaVi, but hopefully their CT side will be better. We'll be right back with you in just a few moments' time. a tough scoreline. It really is. We're staring at, well, a snapshot of just how devastating it really was. But that's only one tiny piece of the puzzle that really was NaVi CT side. There we go. We're back in.
Well, 12-3, obviously. NaVi in a massive deficit right now. They have to claim the pistol, otherwise this could be over.
Well, we're pretty quick into it. Let's see what's going to be done. Zeus already looking to find one through this doorway. Tapping nicely, dropping the bomb. Kirby did find Electronic though, as Dupree doubles down for a second for his team as he takes the life of Simple. Zeus could get aggressive, but also could look towards outside, and that's even better as Glaive under pressure, playing with his teammate Flamey. They should be able to finish it off, but it's the awkward reload. It goes wrong. Edward coming in from outside. Could find two, but Dupree whipping it around to find the headshot, leaving Zeus one man standing. And that man is no one-man band. Astralis, they get a pistol. It's 13-3.
Yeah. Second half pistol, 13-3. 10-round advantage now for Astralis on their T side. NaVi going to have to obviously go for the force, but they're going to have to be buying up for the complete remainder of this first map here, Ryan, because they need rounds on the board ASAP. If they lose this one, 14-3, again, the money will be so low, 1.9k. Go have to force again. Similar buy, CZs, Kevlar, potentially 1 or 2 grenades, light utility, and again, you know, 15-3. This game is pretty much as good as done.
For a strong start for Dupree. Zeus searching for something with this scout. A simple tag is all he's asking for, but headshots galore is the nickname of Astralis at this point as they come running on through. Kill after kill. UMP AK, all the same. Electronic in a good position. Could well pick himself up a rifle here, but has to be so smart as he, well, gets backstabbed because he's not aware of the position of Glaive. Leaving just Zeus.
Yeah, Zipnix is low, Glaive is low. Has a scout, so pretty much an AWP in the hands of himself because the HP bar is low for a few of these players on Astralis, but not quite low enough for the USP. It's going to go 14-3. 11-round advantage. Astralis choice, 2 away from closing this one out. And of course, the money as well. I said before, NaVi are going to have to buy around, time and time again because they need rounds on the board ASAP. But simply put, Ryan, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I think at this point, if you're trying to talk positives for NaVi, then you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. They are very much dug in a hole, and climbing out of it is, well, 1 out of 1,000 steps. That's one way of putting it. As the flashes come over towards outside, while the ramp play comes in from Astralis, they're just going to barrage their way in. Hopping around, but no contact being made. NaVi playing very far back.
Yeah, they went for the risky stack towards the A side. Didn't pay off. Game of rock, paper, scissors, and Astralis have made the correct call. It's going to be a play towards the B-bomb site. Man disadvantage. Let's see if they can still pull this one off with the bomb down, with good after-blood positions towards that B-bomb site.
Had a bit of utility to work with as well. They've got an extra smoke, or even 2 on Electronic and Edward. They are being thrown on out, but Zipnik starting to chew into the Kevlar of these players as 1 and make that even 2 are going to be found. The door being held. Flamey going to lose his head, leaving just Simple and Edward in a 2v5. And just as we say his name, well, it's on death note, as Edward is the last man standing. His name has been spoken. When's it going to be happening to him too? As well, he's creeping on around, looking for one, but just as he does, he loses his head. Astralis 15-3.
Yep. Astralis now 12 match points to work with, 15-3, 12 on advantage. I guess right now you've got to be thinking about Inferno and what you can change going forward. In terms of predictions, you didn't actually ask me for predictions, Ryan. In terms of predictions, I was expecting, you know, a 16-7, a 16-9 in favor of Astralis on Nuke. I didn't expect to be this heavy-handed. I thought there'd be some rounds where Electronic, like we saw earlier, would have a few more rounds where he would go off and have those 2 entry kills or Simple or Flamey. One of those players really steps up. But it seems like all the players right now from NaVi aren't fired up. They're not fragging.
It just feels like for Astralis as well, they ultimately have had a very well-thought-out game plan of how they're going to dispatch of NaVi. And it's really shown on this first map. Just every little answer to all the little tiny plays with the CT side and the T side respectively in that first half, as we're not exactly going to see much of the second half by the looks of things. But hey, they got themselves the first frag. Let's see if that can lead to something, as Edward does take the head of Zipnik, starting to get better and better. Kirby in a good position, but his teammates are all fooling around behind him. Simple. And I'll just hold at the bottom, spots them out. There's one. And at this point for Glaive, it's an impossible circumstance, but it won't go down without a fight, as NaVi do manage to eke out their 4th.
4 rounds gathered after 19 being played out. Really goes to show how dominated NaVi have been by Astralis. Nevertheless, though, 15-4. NaVi game a consultation round, complimentary round. The likelihood of them coming back into this one, 15-15, 11 rounds on the trot, or make it 12 rounds eventually on the trot, is 1 in 100. So Then again, if you are betting people out there, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Some early damage being claimed by the Flames. The nade as well, adding to that. Most importantly, it does actually allow someone to cross. I'm not sure who that was, but someone crossing from outside of A to the center of site.
So, 1 minute 25 left on the clock here. 2 UMPs onto Zeus and Electronic. And apart from that, 3 rifles as well. Good utility. Diffuse gets across the board. They are lacking the ADBP, but so far hasn't really been too much of an issue. Deagle in the hands of Device. 4 AKs as well so far for Astralis. It's right now they're about to be high up the tempo.
There's a kill, but it's a bait and switch. The real target is going to be the B site. Those players go startling down on towards ramp. Flamey should be able to spot it out, but he's a little bit too late. He's allowed 2 to slip through the net, make that all 4, in fact, as Dupree knocks down Simple. You're putting NaVi in a retake scenario. That's where things get tougher and tougher. The bomb being planted. He comes in. Dupree, very crispy. Electronic opening the door, popping in for a kill through the smoke, but nothing to be found. The whole idea of no mistakes from NaVi. Well, it's not been long. We're already beginning to see it as Dupree finds almost perhaps the final kill needed. Device to finally finish it off. I don't even want to use the phrase devastating. It was overused.
Yeah, what is that? 60-4 game. 60-4. Incredibly one-sided there from the Danes is going to be 60-4 for Astralis on Nuke, going into the second map as well, Inferno. In terms of can NaVi try to get a win in this first official they've been playing under the new banner with Electronic, I think Inferno is going to be the map. There's always going to be an uphill struggle on Nuke. Playing as a brand new, fresh lineup, you're going to be lacking the tactics, the strategy, the execution, especially for an IGL as well, like Zeus and the coach as well for Kane. They need time to really get their, you know,
to hone their skills.
Hone their skills. Not even skills. That's the word I'm trying to think. Obviously,
as a team, I think.
I was going to use impregnate, but that's a bit weird.
Where are you going with that?
Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Impregnate their style and all their strats and their strategies and all the tactics they want to really be throwing into this one. They need time.
It's funny because the producer's just like, oh, we've only got 20 seconds of highlights. There wasn't really much to go on, was there? It was just fairly simple. Every kill.
And all of these highlights as well are going to be at the start of the round from Astralis. This is the biggest factor as well. For Astralis, it felt like always having that first kill, always making the correct play in terms of where it was aggressively, meant that they always worked off of perfect information. They always had the correct rotations. Pissed around is probably the best example. Kirby pushes towards outside, spots no one on top of the roof, which means, you know, or no one towards outside, which means obviously expecting a heavy play towards the upper bomb site. You saw as well Glaive playing towards Heaven from the majority of the rounds. Every single time Kirby would push towards outside, Glaive would be Heaven. The reason being is if you spot no one towards outside, you're expecting a play towards upper or a play towards ramp. If you're towards Heaven, Ryan, obviously, you can be the fast rotation towards ramp, so you can help your Zipniks towards the B defense. And of course, you're already Heaven, so you can aid the players on the A site for the A defense. So when there's no smokes towards outside, when there's no T aggression towards outside, there's only one way into that B bomb site, and it's via vents, or it's via ramp, of course. And playing Heaven, you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Well, that ultimately sums up the game in a nice little, well-put-together package, so we'll leave it there. We're coming back to you with Inferno, map number 2 between Astralis and Native Sincere. We're back with you in just a few moments' time. Don't go anywhere.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
strike.
Be focused. Be uncompromising. Be the best and never hold out. Pick your event. Place your bet. No matter who you are or what you're here for, it's our passion that unites us. Betway, for the love of the game.
some somber tones in the break for you there. They were some really quite kind of relaxing music, to say the least, but it kind of matches really what we just saw as well. 16-4. NaVi looking lost, looking basically confused. That loose default they tried to employ, well, it crumbled under the aggression of Astralis.
It did indeed. Obviously, you know, if we're going to be talking about points to bring up from the last map, I think it's pretty simple as to aggression from Astralis, aggression working for Astralis, and nothing working for NaVi. Every single time they won a round, they were instantly reset, had the money reset, and were always forced onto low weak buys, so it all went south.
Yeah, it was very persistent, Astralis. Every time one little bit on the map kind of was pressured by NaVi, Astralis got aggressive somewhere else, right? It was always the answer, was just, right, you're pushing us ramp, we're going to go push secret, or just something like that. They always clawed back that early kill. It was always NaVi having to trade from a 3v4.
Yeah, it was weird. I think one of the things as well that caught me off guard was the fact that how Zipnix, there was I think 2 rounds where Zipnix was able to push ramp and players in lobby weren't holding for him. He had a player holding towards
Such a
door.
simple thing, right?
Yeah, 2 players holding towards obviously the lobby entrance from Hut. And no players holding, obviously, for the ramp push. So obviously that caught me a bit off guard, how easy it was for the CT side from Astralis to slip in there and get those first kills.
Problem was I don't feel like it was that someone wasn't holding it. It was that they got the kill rate and then no one filled it in. It's kind of what starts to happen when you get the cracks in your default. You know, you need people to respond to the fact that, okay, ramp is open now, they could push ramp. Just such a simple comm like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong there, obviously. Then again, that's something that comes with time, obviously, understanding. One of the things I brought up in the cast as well is the fact that when you are playing as a new team, a lot of the things that happens is you always constantly go executes, and you heavily focus on the executions and the strats and the tactics. And sometimes you forget about your defaults and how crucial they can be.
Well, I mean, you talk about executes. I do want to kind of highlight the one execute they basically tried, which was outside. Do you feel like that at least went well?
I thought that was a good one. You know, while I was there on the toilet, I was thinking, wow, what was a great round I saw from NaVi. And that was one of them. The play towards outside, I liked it. Obviously, only smoking off their main, which means Device had no help from Dupree towards their main, leaving just Device outside. And it was basically a 4 versus 1 onto Device. Can they find that kill? If they get that kill, stunning, there's so much pressure on the CT side. So rotate towards ramp, push ramp towards B site. Have your Heaven player, Glaive, rotate towards the B side, take it toward the ramp, and suddenly everything shifts around, you know what I mean? Off of that one kill. Fortunately, they couldn't really find it.
Well, suffice to say, it got a bit messy. But map number 2 is where we're going to be going. Inferno. You've got about 60 seconds. That's pretty much all that's left.
That's a long time, mate.
That's not that long. Come on, you got to give me something. I mean, I'm expecting Banana to be a really hot point. I think that's one huge choke point on Inferno. Especially T-side for NaVi.
No, actually, do you know what? I reckon CT side. If you remember, obviously, I imagine you watched the finals, Gambit versus Immortals from Krakow Major. Biggest thing there on Inferno on the CT side was the way that Hobbit was able to take control of Banana in cohesion with Adren and how well they did with that, and having 4 players rotate towards the A-bombs on the CT side defense. That was with Zeus. Better way odds, 1.3 to 3. This is what I was expecting from the start. I didn't expect the fact that it was going to be 1.5 to 2. So now it seems like a better way of changing their odds to more what I was expecting. But if you did bet on that first game, congratulations. Send me a bit of the tip. Cheers.
You do love your betting odds. I mean, the last time you were on, you got everything right for like 2 days straight, didn't you?
What can I say?
It was a bit of a disaster, to be honest.
That's what I'm here for.
It's a shame we can't bet on the games, otherwise money would be made. It'd be a good time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not complaining. Money's money. That's why we were here, really, isn't it?
Money is money. Talking about money, there's a lot for grabs for Pro League, but also for NaVi, it's a whole idea of relegation right at the bottom of the table. I mean, yeah, I feel like I've been lied to here, production. I'm looking at you. Disgusting. But yeah, relegation, of course, it's a tough one. You want to stay in.
Obviously. I mean, the difference, you know, the difference between having played in the Mountain Dew League, having played in Premier, and obviously Pro League, the difference in terms of how much money the organization is worth, how much the players are worth, is in the region of 6 figures. Hundreds of thousands of dollars separates those 2 leagues. It's massive for these organizations to stay in Pro League.
Yeah, I mean, money is everything right now in esports. To see the situation with Smoothie valued at 100k apparently. I mean, players, the prices are astronomical. But that out of the way, this is it. Map number 2 between NaVi and Astralis. And aggression towards Banana is the point to discuss. As Edward goes flying on down and gets himself the headshot. Flamey now looking to catch off a few more blind players. As Device did get the trade, but Flamey still swinging, pulls back just another headshot. We're playing towards a double sandbag setup, and I love this because it will catch them by surprise. They shouldn't be expecting Simple to be tucked in that corner.
4 versus 3 Device, though. We'll find one towards Banana. He notices that the players here close in contention, but there you have it. Simple Electronic, the new dynamic duo for NaVi, chime together, they come together, and they find the remaining of those kills towards Banana. And now it's exciting to see what this duo of Simple and Electronic can do, because in terms of pure firepower, this roster is absurd.
for just Simple alone, I mean, I used the stat right at the start. The guy's on a 1.31 rating, not including that last map, of course, and in terms of Pro League as a whole, and is the highest rated player in Pro League right now. And for NaVi, considering where they're at in terms of the games they've won, the games they've lost, etc., that highlights their firepower and really sends that point home.
Exactly. Anyway, though, it will be the force back out from Astralis, obviously not getting the bomb down. Getting stopped towards Banana, which means they won't have the extra money for the bomb plant, which means they can't buy to number 3. Therefore, they will be going for the force point to this one.
Device sat in a smoke, waiting to move on forward. Astralis wanting that bomb plant. They begin to work their way up through Banana, clearing out the likes of sandbags while backing off towards mid. 5
players investing for Astralis into CZs and Kevlar, which means no AWP for Devices in the first buy round. Then again, T-side Inferno, obviously it's very, very viable to lack the AWP in your buy rounds for your T-side.
That mid smoke right now, prompting Astralis just to wait things out before a quick burst of aggression likely will come through. Molly, going to be the point of discussion now as it will block off mid once again.
Oh, dive the Molotov sometimes. What you could have done there is, obviously, if you were on full eco, is dice that Molotov and only give $300 away, but obviously on the force, but they still feel like they can have this one.
Yeah, it's almost too much to lose, just not quite worth it. Electronic sat very far back, and I like this from NaVi. They hold an advantage, they're just pulling distance, they've got 35 seconds left. They make it so hard for Astralis. They get down and dirty almost as the pre will flick back for a headshot. The Deagle has to do it all right now. 2 players to find. The dink comes in. Electronic push down relatively low, but the kills, they all fall into play. NaVi, 2-0.
Round number 3. Astralis going to be an eco after going for the force point to their last round. Playing it very slow, actually. Waiting for the smokes to eventually fade from middle, and then they were met by the Molotovs. You had one of the players pushing through the Molotov, got isolated, died on his own. There's no trade kills, and then suddenly, when you do lack that first player, or that one-man advantage, when you are down a man, it's very easy for the CT side, especially when they have the firepower advantage, just to basically take you out one by one like dominoes.
And mid push now coming in high, certainly up for grabs for NaVi. 2 quick kills from the UMP. Make that a 3rd. Edward just hopping around with his bulldozer, looking to see if he can find some action for himself. We'll get a kill, but a quick trade from Glaive, but nothing really to be screaming about as Astralis. They're going to be ushered in to what will be their first buy, but it is without that AWP. Just 5 rifles, but a decent chunk of utility. Some real options here now for Astralis, finally.
Precisely. Let's take a look at the buys, though. Will be the AWP coming out finally for Simple. 2 UMPs for Slave, Flamey, and Zeus. MP7 there for Edward, and the M4 for Electronic. On the flip side, though, for Astralis, 5 AKs for them. Decent utility, not the best. Obviously, they're lacking the Molotovs, they're lacking the extra flashbang. And with the lack of Molotovs, it's going to be very hard for Astralis to really take control of Banana easily. Obviously, typically, you molly the top corner, you molly our sandbags, and then suddenly there's no position to be met. Lacking the Molotovs, if they can try and use flashbangs, potentially get creative with taking control of Banana, then it will aid them greatly into this buy round.
Mollies to be thrown. Once again, halting Astralis on their aggression. Goodnix does move forward to Pre, a 2nd kill, but Electronic starts to swing back in. Struggles on the Pre, though, and that's a problem. Instigating that site take from Astralis, putting 3 players there for them. Smoking off Simple and his AWP as the bomb is planted.
4 versus 2. Astralis is so strong in their after-block positions. Their communication, their teamwork is so impactful, and there you have the push through the smoke. Glaive catches them off guard, expecting NaVi to play for exit kills, expecting NaVi to try and break and whittle down the Astralis economy and then save afterwards. He manages to find that gap.
Simple, at least. Going to be swinging here. Does find himself that frag. Question is, will he lose that AWP? That's really the only thing on my mind right now. Just waiting to see if Astralis will continue the hunt, but no.
And if he does lose the AWP, will Device pick it up? And if so, will they try to utilize the AWP into the buy rounds, or will they simply just disregard it away, as they might be more comfortable on the T-side Inferno with just the 5 AKs instead? But regardless, though, into round number 5, it will be a 3-1 scoreline in favor of NaVi. 3 players surviving for Astralis, which means that money will be able to build just a little bit. It does take off some of that pressure. You can see once the buys come in, how much money they will have left. 2,000 in for Device, sit next to Pre having good money, so NaVi, they have to chain rounds together. They have to win this round versus the buy round, the full 5 AKs. Try and win the next round as well versus maybe 3-4 AKs, a UMP, light utility. If they can chain 2 rounds together, they're going to break the money from Astralis, and that's where they can really gain the advantage the first half, get a good buffer of rounds on the CT side.
Electronic the first to be tested here as he moves on up through apps, does get himself a quick kill on Xyp9x, but yet to be traded back. The peek from dupreeh will take place, but unfortunately just a second too late. Edward capitalizing on the peek from Kirby. flamie doing even more. That's a double kill through the smoke. dupreeh going to be swinging back in, going for the triple, but the third headshot is just too far.
And now the reset for Astralis. You can see 1.5k there for Kirby. dupreeh instantly investing into the AK. But it seems that their buy is going to be far weaker than I thought. We might be seeing everyone else on Astralis eco and just have dupreeh buy into the AK. He will get 1.9k into the next round, but actually, once the freeze time does come to an end, it will be the force buy coming out from Astralis. 4 CZs, AK for dupreeh, but look at the distinct lack of utility right now for the T side. The longer this round goes on, the more impact s1mple's Orb can have, as he's going to be faced with less utility, less flashbangs. He won't be smoked off and Molotov off these angles. It's going to be very hard for Astralis to really find an entry, find openings towards the sites.
It's a lot of freedom, really, is what you're saying. dupreeh waiting to search for another double kill towards Boiler.
You can see he's the only player there with real firepower. Having the only and sole AK on this round, he's the one trying to find that first kill. Goes towards Boiler, spots out towards Quad, spots out towards Arch. He's trying to find this first kill for Astralis. If they can't find it, it's going to be a very uphill battle for them going to this round.
Already a lot of time being spent, and there's the first loss. Xyp9x losing his life to Electronic, getting aggressive on apps. A telltale play from his CT side so far within the past 6 rounds or so. Is flamie going to be holding nicely back? Zeus getting aggressive, not quite the great decision as dupreeh does mop up both of the frags. flamie still swinging, but tapping between 2. Is it going to be enough? 45 seconds. The bomb being planted. It's all about that after plant potential now for Astralis. They have the experience. They've been a roster together for so long now.
They're lacking so much utility though. They've used their last smoke towards mid-pit. It is fading now, Ryan, which means they have no utility to try fend off, warden off, or slow down the retake for NaVi. They can swarm this site, but actually, they're going to get cold feet. They're not going to try go for this one. They're not going to run the risk. They know that if they save the 3 weapons until the next round, they can still go for a full buy. They're going to allow Astralis to take this round, make it go 4-2. As NaVi don't want to be taking the risk. Obviously, the risk versus reward there is, if you go for this retake and you lose it 4-2, you have no money, or a weak force by potentially maybe 1 or 2 M4s. I believe one of the players on NaVi has over 4,000, or maybe 2 players. So yeah, look at that. After the round's over, only s1mple could have bought, which means if this went 4-2 and they went for this round and they lost it, that would be a 1 M4 buy, CZs, UMPs, a weak buy at that. It would go 4-2 currently. And then if they lose this weak force buy, it would have gone 4-3, eco 4-4. So a very smart call from NaVi. You can see their buy is far better than what it would have been if they'd lost in the 3 versus 3.
I think it also just highlights that Astralis have been disciplined in the way they peak. Talking about that, very nicely done from s1mple. Sprays coming in, Kirby still standing, flamie will pull through the double though. glaive struggling to back away through the smoke.
4 versus 2. Minute 30 left on the clock into round number 7. glaive and Xyp9x versus the 4 from NaVi. Smoke comes down towards middle. Will we be seeing Astralis go through this?
Judging by that smoke and follow-up flash, yes, we will. Electronic with the frag grenade to try and lay down that early damage, putting glaive just to 30 HP. Paling in comparison to the 3 full HP players on NaVi and then Zeus as well on 67. It's getting worse and worse for these Danes right now, hunting for that opportunity. Now they are bunched up, so there's that. But only that.
Exactly. Zeus towards the peep bomb sides, the Molotov. And now Electronic goes for the peek towards Arch. Spots both the players. Do Astralis go for an Arch wrap? Do they try to go back towards Quad? As right now they're holding, they're hoping that someone from NaVi will try and throw the lead, peek into their crosshairs, hoping that someone gets agitative and aggressive for information.
You're giving them nothing though. No aggression, no transfer positions towards short, for example. There's just nothing there. And at 25 seconds, you have to question if Astralis could just walk away with these 2 rifles. Looks like they're still hungry, however. Going to be looking towards that A site. Xyp9x, the man's to instigate. Electronic tucked in on that site, though. Should make it impossible. A simple scoping in, but just getting almost so much information at this point. Finally going to lose his life. The peek comes in from flamie. That already seals the deal, as Electronic didn't even need to face.
Exactly. Playing the single box on default. Obviously, they walk into his crosshair. 10 seconds left on the timer. No chance there for Astralis. 5-2. As they will be reset. A very smart save there from NaVi. That's one of the things we've always seen from Zeus. He knows when to pull the trigger and go for a save. He knows how to weigh up the odds, weigh up the risk versus the reward. He knows the difference in buys they would have had between round number 7 and round number 8 if they'd lost that round. And now actually, conversely, on the flip side, it's going to be resetting the money for Astralis. So they've impacted Astralis' money so dearly, and they will be leaving them just on the eco.
So far, so good. Electronic able to get that first kill. Flamey looking for even more. Kirby maybe will offer himself up on a silver platter. But actually, it's just Flamey to back away. NaVi do want to be somewhat careful here about managing their economy, not giving too much up to Astralis. We saw in the first game just how much was done. And those pistols were able to get maybe 2 or 3 kills.
Precisely. It's so important as well when you are versus the eco to have 4 or 5 stay alive, have a clean round. NaVi don't want any extra players to fall. Because right now having 4 alive means they can drop over Flamey and have the $3,500 into the bank balance, not ever be affected by anything else.
A few simple deagle peeks. Into the crosser is simple though. It's a tough task. Kirby does at least find himself 1, but anything more should be an impossible mission. So makes himself a pathway up on towards that A site, spamming almost on towards the head of Kirby. Electronic will finish him off 6-2. A great start from NaVi on their CT side, but still potential for this to be a close game as Astralis will invest back into this. Of course, UMP still in play on Glaive. Curious to see if there is a rifle for device somewhere on the floor as well.
The money around for right now for NaVi is paying off. Having 4 or 3 players staying alive versus the eco, you can see now 3 players have over $5,000, other players in about 3,000, 2,000, so they can buy off this round. Even if Astralis win this one, make it 6-3. NaVi can still come back into this one, have a buy into round number 10. So far, so very good from NaVi. For Astralis, though, lacking the AWP again into this round, it will be a UMP for Glaive. CZ as well, as you said, from Device and 3 AKs to try and work with. And by lacking the AWP, it's going to be they have to use utility to gain map control. You can't just have your primary AWPer peek towards archway, peek towards quad, go for the concept play up quad, clear all those angles. You have to clear the angles with flashbangs.
Re-smoke coming in towards short flashes as well, soon to be thrown on out. NaVi all in very good positions. I actually like this play a lot. Astralis will look to catch them by surprise, play into these smokes as they throw a third one towards long quarter. But left completely blind, a deer in headlights almost as Glaive. Just a moment away from being caught off by Zeus. The molly to be coming out, but Glaive very quick. Can he find more though? Kirby helping him out. Zipnik starting to dive on down under. It's all falling to pieces. Astralis, 3 frags, leaving just Simple and Edward. An AWP and a rifle that already consider the save.
Simple gets to put it out now as well. We'll go for the reface, trying to save this AWP into the next round, of course. If he saves, you can see he has $4,200. If he survives, actually, Ryan, 1.4k extra, 5.6k. They could go for a double upset if they wanted to. Nevertheless, though, that's of course if they save. They've given away their location. Astralis, their money isn't really anything to write home about. So if they keep giving away these exit kills in favor of NaVi, they can actually be doing more damage to their own money than NaVi's itself. And you can see how much more patient they're being as soon as they realize that their money is, of course, low as well.
This is the 3rd time we've seen it now from Astralis, where they go hunting for a kill, someone dies, and they quickly just have a second thought. They're like, yes, you know, we're not going to push. Let's just sit back.
Exactly that. Round number 10, 6-3. And NaVi can still go for a buy into this round as well. AWP for Simple, 3 and 4s, and the UMP for Electronic. So the buy is still decent, right? Yes, you're lacking an M4 for Electronic, but look at the utility right now across the board for NaVi. Kits as well to go work with. No AWP again for Astralis, so can Simple exploit that with his AWP?
Well, a few good flashes, but nothing really to be done. Edward going to be tested over on towards Banana, but gets away thanks to a flash as well. Molly going to follow up to clear sandbags. Edward receding right back to the site itself. Smoke to be thrown, but no real play coming in from Astralis, as they've yet to decide what the real objective in the round is going to be.
Because of that banana control as well, you can see the rotations coming out from NaVi. Simple and Flamey going to be going back towards that B-bomb site, as Edward has no control towards top banana. He's left alone. NaVi wants to go for the players, as I said before in the preface before this, where you have control of banana, you send 4 players towards the A site, your second Bianca rotates towards Arch. But right now, because of the lack of information, we can see a fake from Astralis towards middle and a re-hit towards his B-bomb. So the only issue right now for Astralis is you can see Zeus is aggressive towards quad, which means he's going to know it's a fake instantly.
Such a big problem, really, for the Astralis lineup. It will come down to them hitting their shots as they come in. Simple going on over.
And this is it. This is what I mean. The aggression towards quad from Zeus means he knows this is a fake. He knows that it's actually going to be B play. Having the extra play here. 3 towards B from NaVi. Is it going to be enough to try and topple over the aggression now from Astralis?
It's all going to be on the muscle of these rifles. Can they make it work? The flash comes through. They begin to enter. Edward peeking up around the bomb site. Finds himself one Simple. Knocking down a second with the orb. The bomb gets himself in such a sour spot. Simple just going to be holding it with the orb. There's no way they can get close. They try to go on and pick it up. The shoulder peek comes in. Debris does find himself a frag, but they're all still dead to rights. As Zipnix goes down, just him alone with Simple to get the frag.
There you have it. 7-3 now. 4-round advantage for NaVi. As the money is actually decent from Astralis. Saving 4 players means they can obviously buy into those 4 players, but actually going to be going for a quasi-buy into this one. It seems likely that they realize if they go for a buy now, having 4,000-ish across the board, you're only going to be able to afford that. Kevlar, helmet, AK, smoke, and 1 flashbang. For Astralis, they need more utility. They need the Molotovs, they need the double flashbangs, they need to be mollying top banana, mollying the corner, mollying the sandbags, flashing banana, pushing the CTs back onto the B bomb site. Once you have Edward and Simple on the B bomb site, you can set a fake towards B very easily, go back towards the A site. You keep 2 players towards B, which means only 3 players towards A from NaVi. It's not a scenario where there's suddenly, you know, an extra player rotated from B towards A. Ooh, I was going to say, so far so very good from NaVi, but off the back of that quick flick there from Dupree is looking very good for Astralis.
A second from Device as well. This is looking like a beefy round. Astralis waiting very patiently.
So
as I'm sure they are. 20 seconds better not come through. Let's pray. We cross our fingers. There you go. The bomb got planted just as expected. A lot of damage being done though to Device and Dupree. 44 and 15 HP respectively. Could make for quite an awkward retake as Dupree gets 2. Dupree, please! Leaving just Zeus. 1 man up against 4. This is done. How does Dupree get so many frags in the round? With a Deagle. Does have the Kevlar, but man needs no rifle. Just a smoke and a Deagle to his name.
1 versus 4. Zeus has to try to pick the straws now and survive. Astralis, though, going to be trying to hunt him on that A-bomb site. If he actually comes out now, we'll spot 1, goes for the second, actually goes for these jewels, does take out 2 weapons from Astralis. But not before he went down. If he had survived there, he could have dropped over a UMP, dropped over a FAMAS, actually. Could have been seeing Simple buying an AWP, potential force buy, but instead it's very likely now for NaVi. Just go for a save here, but as I say that, of course, they will be going for the risky buy, as they like life on the edge. 7-4, and now Astralis really have a big chance into this half. If they had lost that last round, going on for the quasi-buy, this would have been an 8-3 scoreline. NaVi already securing 8 rounds on the CT side. They've already won the half, essentially, but now they really have to fight for it. Dupree goes for the peak towards middle. Maybe they're expecting the AWP already to be towards Arch from Simple.
It's interesting as Edward re-aggresses towards Banana, spotting out a few players that causing a bit of a stir. The smoke to be dropped on down. Kirby facing into him. But he may be just 18 HP, but he's a man with a kill to his name. As he makes it back to a 4 versus 4.
1 minute 20 on the clock. 4 versus 4, as you said before. And in the 4 versus 4, it means the defense has to be split. 2 towards A, 2 towards B. As the fake is quietly making its mark towards the B bomb site. Zeus trying to get information, gets split up by Zipnix.
That's crucial because they know that push is coming in. They can capitalize on that, secure the kill, do so much more with it. Flamey does punish Device. The rotation's starting to come in towards A now. They have to be careful. They've kind of beat them to the punch. I mean, Zipnix isn't really out on the site just yet, only now dropping in towards Pit. It's kind of problematic. The kill is so crucial here for Electronic, but then the smoke gets thrown, and now Native Sincere, they're back in the same old tough spot. The smoke blocking them, a retake so difficult. They push on through, well, they're basically dead. I mean, in my opinion, I don't even know why you push that. Just save.
The idea behind pushing the smoke there is obviously if you get that 1 kill, you know that Kirby and Zipnix are low. Obviously, Electronic dinking up the player, Zeus dinking up the player towards middle as well. You know they're low, so you can find that 1 kill. A 2 versus 2 is very winnable in that scenario.
It's just tough, though. I mean, especially when you got an AWP and playing your teammate. The refrag potential there even is so bleak.
Obviously, very risky, but then again, higher risks equate to higher rewards. 7-5 will be the scoreline as the bomb will eventually tick away down as we head into the 13th round. So far, after a very early lead, a very early and strong start from NaVi, Astralis have finally found the form into the second matchup on Inferno. 14-9 will be the KD from Flamey at 14 kills already. Electronic is 1 to 12. Right now, Edward and Zeus obviously is the more supportive players. You expect them to be towards the lower end of the scoreboard. That's where you want them as well. You want Edward, you want Zeus as well, flashing in these young talents, your Electronics, your Zeuses, your Flamies. You want them to be your point of contact players.
What's interesting here is an AWP surrounded by pistols. And Zeus knows exactly where the bulk of Astralis are, but he also is aware that at least someone is going to be down towards the depths of mid. And he's looking for that one player. Actually heads in towards underpass, but now he's been spotted and he is a dead man, just like that. People begin to lose their lives.
Astralis actually smoking off mid there to block the vision from all the other USPs. The AWP as well from Simple had no vision towards middle, which meant they could isolate Zeus. And with that, they have the man advantage.
Flamey was being asked of a happy-like play. Trying to see if he can find something, but doesn't even get a shot off. As Glaive takes him down. Leaving just Simple and Edward. That AWP definitely being carried to that 14th round. I think that's a given. The question for Edward is, does he get a bit aggressive? Does he try and almost stay in and protect Simple? I mean, there's so many different game plans here. Simple just holding the corner. He walks on in, gets himself just another kill. That's a rifle now for Edward. But look at the position as Ipnik sprays them down. There's the double. And Astralis going to be gifted. They're 6th.
One round now separating these two teams. Astralis claiming 3 rounds in a row, which means they're going to be having strong money going forward. And going forward is only 2 more rounds. So Astralis can now buy into both of these rounds, which means a lot of pressure for NaVi, as they are 1 round away from claiming 8 rounds on their CT side, claiming the victory in the half. As there will be another aggressive peek towards mid from Simple. He knows that Devices want to bring the AWP out on the CT side. And right now, Simple's taking advantage of it.
Thankfully, Edward able to find the second kill on Device. Starts to edge out a little bit more positivity. Simple missing that initial shot for a second. Spell the problem. But thankfully, the advantage in play. Simple in such a good position. Doesn't get the shot off those Ipniks. Able to at least trade blows with the work of Zeus. As it is just 2 up against 4. So much time for Astralis, but it's already crumbling as Electronic does force it even further now. Down the rabbit hole for Astralis, leaving just Dupree venturing around the corner, right into the crosshair of Edward.
There you have it. NaVi on to 8 rounds. On the CT side, they have claimed the victory of the half. And for the final round, we'll be seeing the AWP coming out from Device. He knows that Simple has too much freedom on that CT side. Simple's able to peek towards middle round and round, time and time again. Even goes for the reface as well, catching the first player off guard. He can't allow Simple to just run rampant across the map. He has to put his foot down, has to put an end to the havoc from the AWP from Simple, because he's holding for this aggressive peek. Hoping that Simple gives away their first kill.
Talking of first blood, Edward again. Making it work. Device does take him down though. At least able to carve out an even standpoint. Dupree back towards Boiler. The El Clasico position for him in this game, really. He's been able to do so much from there. A few double kills, just to name a few.
As indeed. 1 minute, 20 seconds now. And in the 4 versus 4, it will be 2 towards the A-bomb side, 2 towards B. We might see some information plays towards middle here. Flamey goes for a peek towards middle of a flashbang, and there you have it. It comes to fruition. Sees no one. Oh, we're going to be seeing this 5th man here. Electronic rotate towards B off the back of that.
Device just being an absolute pain towards the tip of Banana, working in a few shots with his AWP, trying to keep Simple over on towards that B site. But you have to look towards the bomb. I mean, no matter what Dupree does, there's going to be a significant period of time between that kill and when the bomb actually gets planted, and that buys time for also NaVi too. It's a double-edged sword really for Astralis.
Look how passive, though, NaVi are towards the site. It's giving up so much room for Astralis to get in so close towards the site. They can play for the trades now very easily.
They've been able to get the bomb right up towards short. That almost nullifies everything we just discussed as they finally take the contact. Zipnik's finding the first kill. Dupree swinging around towards the back of sight. Electronic losing his head. At this point, a retake so incredibly tough. An AWP coupled by a rifle. NaVi, they've been here many a time. The game plan from Zeus is just going to be to take the fight towards short. Smoke making a little tough spray through the smoke, so damn close. Whips out the CZ. The flash to be thrown, leaving him blind. The backs almost turn to each other now as they continue. Trying to advance up towards short, but that bomb getting closer and closer. Dupree, back-to-back headshots. The man is crispy as he gets himself a triple kill, and that sums up really just how this first half has gone. 7 to 8, so damn close. but a second half that is coming right up soon. Don't go anywhere, folks. A game that's gone down to the wire, 8-7. Native Frontier versus Astralis after a slaughter in the first map. NaVi here to play, now on their T side. A pistol to set the tone.
Exactly, and a pivotal one at that. When the game's so close, this pistol round will really determine to pick the second half momentum.
Zeus waiting for this push. It comes on in, Glaive hitting one, going for a second. Tap, tap goes the game. Device killing his teammate though, that's a little awkward, but he gets a second kill as well. Looking for just Simple now, tacking him down through the wood. Flamey taking down Zipnix meanwhile makes it workable for NaVi, but they've got so much to do. But with so much time, Panic doesn't need to ensue.
3 versus 2. Device, 13 HP. And apart from that, Dupree and Kiabi have 100. Potential lack of the kit though for the City side, so if they play too passive here, Ryan, the bomb does go down. They could be giving up too much leeway for NaVi. Nevertheless, though, will be Kiabi and Pip. Can he be the one-man defense to hold off the aggression from NaVi? Or actually, they're going to walk towards Speedway in the crosshair of Dupree.
Oh, he misses his shot, gives Flamey a chance, and Flamey grabs it with both hands, saying, yes, please, I've got this. Let's head on out towards this site, clearing it bit by bit. Now knowing the position of Kiabi, who does land the tag, putting him down to just 26 HP. Simple, meanwhile, working up towards Banana. But Device, he's not rotating. He's having absolutely none of it. He's waiting patiently, and this could be beautiful. He knows exactly what's going on. He's just going to wait for the push to come in. This could be a headshot jumping around the corner. Flamey finishing him off, buying time for his teammate Simple to head on up towards that site. Kiabi quick on the flank. 15 seconds left, caught off by Simple.
NaVi winning both the pistol rounds on the second map on Inferno. 9-7 with the scoreline. Initially, it all went in favour of the Danes towards Banana. They had the first initial 3-man entry. And even in the 3 versus 2, they managed to decipher the round. They knew that there'd be weakness towards Arch. They managed to get the kill onto Dupree. And from there, they did a very good 1-1 split from Banana and from CT onto that B-bomb site, knowing Device was low.
And he runs deep in towards apartments. The Molly following up as well. Flamey just going to begin to clear it out with his UMP, taking it very, very slow, but that's the real objective from him across that map, just to be a real nuisance. The rest of his team, of course, working their way up in towards Banana, clearing up the likes of Sandbags, Cubby. It's pretty standard stuff for NaVi. Of course, Astralis, with these CZs, with these Deagles, you never know what a few stray headshots can do.
5 SMGs from NaVi. It can be a pretty big risk to take, actually. When you do lack the firepower, the pure firepower from those AKs, getting trades can be difficult. Trying to work into long positions of the map can be difficult if you're walking up Arch. If you're trying to walk up Quad Peak towards Pit. But let's see if they can just swarm it and make that play no factor.
Glaive peeking out. There's the headshots that I was talking about. In the back of the shoulder even for Simple, but the point still stands. A frag is a frag. Dupree aware that Slate is being pushed, a wraparound play. Glaive just playing in the corner of Library. Peeks out a little bit, trying to scrape in a bit of damage. The whole of Astralis know what's going on. They're going to be swarming onto these SMGs. Electronic able to find one, but Glaive at it again with the CZ. The Molly going to be burning away through Pit. But a defensive smoke to keep him alive. Zeus going to force the issue, but Device with the Deagle. Glaive again, doing so much more. That's 3 for him. And just like that, the round ends. I told you about these pistols, and that exactly is why you look dumbfounded and confused. Walk me through it.
I mean, what can I say? Obviously, Glaive with an incredible time peek towards Arch, catches the first play off guard, Simple goes down. One of the interesting things as well, Ryan, was both of these pistol rounds, right? Oh, sorry, all of the pistol rounds so far from the T sides, obviously, only been 2 out of the list of 2. Both T side pistols, Simple is the one to buy the utility for the side of NaVi. Usually expecting it to be Zeus, you expect it to be Edward, but actually it's Simple. And speaking of Simple, he is the first player to be taken out of the server. Astralis do win the force buy. NaVi go for the counter force buy back, trying to come back into this one. But instead, Astralis are pulling the lead already. If this goes 9-9, NaVi went to a weak buy in Eco, we could be seeing double digits in the foreground for Astralis.
The upside here as well is the Danes have opted to take Banana very early on. They used a flash from Zipnix and a deep smoke as well, just to kind of allow that to happen. Now it has faded. You've got Glaive towards the top of Banana, just being a nuisance with his rifle. But I mean, it's all really working out. Dupree and his fam is doing trusty work on Edward. It just gets rough. Zeus at least scouring a trade, but look at Glaive. Flash comes over, he knows what's going on. They come pushing on through. There's one, going for a second. Transfers it perfectly. Kirby to finish it all off. Astralis 9-9. That double digit, that 10th, right there on the tip of their tongue.
Precisely. This is a round as well for Astralis where, versus the full eco, you have 3.4k across the board, across all 5 players aggregately. Now you need your clean round. You've salvaged the Mac-10 off of one of the corpses from NaVi onto Device. You've got the UMP there for Kiabi. This is a big thing as well. Device is the AWPer. With that Mac-10, you're not going to be using that Mac-10 into the buy round. Play aggressive, hunt for these eco kills and get the money.
Oh, look at Device ripping into them. Picked up the Eagle, goes for more, putting Zeus right on the post. Electronic at least able to pull the kill back. But is it too late to start getting, well, even remotely excited about the possibility of NaVi doing much more in the round? I think it may well be. Simple, sure, he's an underpass, could find himself one, but the nade is almost perfect. Kind of tells us that Astralis know exactly what's going on.
Smoke towards CT stairs, leaving just a few angles, a few places to hide. As Kirby spots out the toes from Simple. As it is just eco kills, money frags, 4 players staying alive for Astralis. Device will need to be dropped the AWP, he wants to bring it out to the first buy round. Actually has $9,000, so he can easily invest that into himself. And now you can see from $3,000, you've got players on $5,000. Obviously, going for the fun investments costing $7 grand from Device. Most expensive gun in the game, plus all the utility and whatnot. Nevertheless, round number 20, 10-9 now. Round advantage for Astralis. And we were looking at the scoreline earlier on, Ryan, where it was 7-3 in favor of NaVi. From there, it's gone 7-2 in terms of how the second half's really shaped up. There's a massive momentum right now with Astralis.
Look at Kirby. Look at how far up through Apps he's got right out the other side, holding for the aggression from Edward. This could be masterful. Edward, you're not going to check for this, buddy. His back is turned. The bomb is dropped. He goes for 2. Electronic is going to find the trade. But a disruption in the play of NaVi. They now forces them to have to completely clear out apartments all over again. Astralis looking to really add insult to injury, boosting up over the tip of that mid-smoke. Hungry for that kill. Onto Simple. Finding nothing. Electronic is going to look to return the fader. Peeks out a boiler himself. But it's the same old phrase. Finding absolutely nothing. 4 versus 4. A minute on the clock. We're back at a stalemate.
Device playing solid towards the B-bomb site. Has the AWP. But while it's smoked, it's going to go for the jump peek. With the smoke phase, probably going to flash Banana, clear up Banana, have full control with the AWP. He has early information as well. Zip next to B anchor can rotate towards B at a moment's notice, but actually he won't be needed as the kills reign in favor of Astralis, 4 versus 2.
Brutal to watch. Zipnix, of course, he's going to repeat, starts to rip them down. Doesn't quite finish it off with the second kill, but even then, Electronic is an impossible spot, completely blind. Glaive just going to make it happen. 11-9, Astralis starting to move ahead. NaVi not even going to be able to give him a shot to respond here because of just how bad their money's going to be. 29.50, 3,500. I mean, you just can't do anything here if you're NaVi.
Precisely that. Obviously, I was going to say you can go for a pause here, try and work out your buy, but more importantly, work out what your game plan is for the next buy round. 11-9, you're looking at a 7-3 advantage. You lost versus the quasi buy, the CZs, the Kevlar. Ever since then, it's all trickled down in favor of Astralis, with the other ones really having the second half momentum. It seems like constantly Astralis on the CT side, same affair as Nuke, where they play so aggressive at the start of the round. They get those early foreground positions, they get the first kill, they have so much information to work off of. Device soloing the B-bomb site towards Banana, he's jump spotting when there's a smoke there. Smoke fades, he flashes it, he then peeks with the AWP, he has full control towards Banana. And with the AWP as well, you can have really early information. Having early information is crucial because it gives extra seconds, extra time for Zipnix to rotate in. One of the issues you can have where, for example, when it was Hobbit on Gambit, back when Zeus was calling for that lineup, when you have Hobbit there jump spotting, obviously he can only spot towards logs. And there's a massive difference between getting information from T-stairs and logs. That extra 2 seconds is crucial in adding time for the rotation from the Arch player towards B.
Push beginning to come in, Dupree with confidence wanting to shut down these pistols, spotting out 2 players, fighting both. Zeus will secure the trade, simple. Going to be playing peekaboo with an AWP. His device is going to be traded back. Now that's a chance. A thinly veiled one, but a chance nonetheless. But then you add Yerby into the mix and yeah, I'm just going to stop talking at this point. I mean, really, what can you do? Flamey picking up the AWP, basically just wanting to save, but every little position is held. Nice flick from Flamey. Does catch him off, but still, Yerby acting as almost the insurance here for Astralis.
12-9, 3-round advantage now for the Danish side on the CT side defense on Inferno. Round number 22. This will be the next buy-round for NaVi. What are they going to change? Are they going to apply more pressure towards Banana? If they can force back Glaive and Zipnix towards the B-bomb site, give up control of Banana, maybe Molotov the top, molly out sandbags, flash, leave one player there to hold it, go back towards the A site, try fake B, go for an A hit, when you know that there's 2 players on B instead of 4 towards the A site. Nevertheless, the flash comes out towards Banana. Device, maybe going for the peek over the Molotov.
Device playing with a lot of confidence in this second half with that AWP. The flash is always buying him time to peek, catching Simple off perfectly. There's the repeat, lining up for a second. Look for a third, but Electronic says enough is enough. Secures the headshot and opens up for a spiraling play onto the site itself as the smoke will come through. Glaive, he's just going to pop flash right on over the other side. Electronic back turned, but Dupree still able to find the headshot, and Flamey changes everything. As it pits us back to a 2v2. Look at the bomb on the floor. Dupree wandering around, but Edward able to claw back the kill.
1 versus 2. KRB having the Molotov flash, and Kitty can flush out one of these players with a Molotov if he needs to. Spots up the player towards back boxes, I believe. Or actually, the smoke coming down. I don't think this spotter finds the first frag. He knows where the last player was Banana, has the bomb. He has to anticipate that Edward can run towards the A site. As he's doing, will KRB get there in time?
Decisions to be made. Looks like neither player going to be doubting themselves, standing by the decision of going over on towards that A site. Now, he's too late to deny the plant. But he does get to hear those crucial steps in terms of the after-plant position of Edward. Very likely that it's gone towards pit or even tried to walk center site. But the fact he even knows to be looking towards pit shapes this 1v1 up to be quite incredible. As Kirby begins to move on around, the bomb ticking, peeking in towards pit. Edward so down fast. A double kill from him and a clutch play. He gives NaVi their 10th.
Edward there planting for quad, planting for pit and apartments. There's only 3 places that Edward could have been. Obviously pit, apartments, or quad. And it was one of those 2, obviously, as Kirby was coming in from quad. Nevertheless, though, 12-10, NaVi make a very strong round there. In the mid-portions of it, they find the kills across the map. The 1 versus 1 duels are won by NaVi. They had control of Banana. I said before in the last round, they have to show presence towards Banana. this time, not only did they get control of Banana, they got kills there as well.
Device adjusting himself over on towards mid, trying to be almost sporadic with this AWP, wanting to find opportunities on this NaVi lineup. But the shot will be missed and nothing will be found. Kirby, a repeated position allows them to peek up towards Apps and look for anyone that decides to cross on over. It's a good flash, still turning. Edward struggling. Edward, does get the kill on Dupree, but Kirby, albeit walk away on 10 HP, does trade it back. Flamey will look to finish him off, hearing a subtle sound cue that someone is close, lurking in the shadows. Or either pit or up on this balcony, but worst case, picks off Xyp9x, and he does. This is tough. Very, very tough. Zeus wandering around, does find Kirby. And it gets worse and worse by the second. Glaive being the hard anchor on this site, but he's not even on the site itself. He's having to play so far back so he can be with Device. At which point he should be smoked off, flashed off, even mollied off. There's not a single opportunity has been found by Astralis.
Save call going to be coming in. But number 4, simple here is Device trying to exit via back middle. Glaive now last alive. They know he was towards mini pit, towards Arch. They're going to be hunting him towards the B-bomb site.
Seems to be a conscious decision, actually, that, you know what? We're just going to sit back for now, get this bomb down. From there, I imagine they're going to go hunting, but much more together, at least. Starting to see the likes of Flamey move on out. It's going to be going with Electronic, of course. Glaive currently has his back turned. It's both of those players. Now, it depends on NaVi if they go for that typical kind of end-of-round play that you just hop around and very sporadic. They could be heard, but looks like Glaive has doubts anyway. Just turn around and holds the cross, spotting him out.
Spots him out indeed. Problem is that because there's 2 players close proximity between each other, if he gets the first kill on the Electronic, high chance now for Fleming to get the trade kill, and he does just that. 12-11 now on Astralis. What is the money going to be shaping up to be? Not too good. 2,000 across the board, which means they're probably going to go for the eco here. If they save into this round, they will have enough to go for a decent buy to the next one. 1.9k, obviously, you're looking at... Oh, sorry, 2.4k, you're looking at 4.4k. So, M4, Kevlar, smoke flashbang, smoke kit, something along those lines where they haven't got the depth of utility to really warden off NaVi towards Banana, warden off NaVi towards middle for these longer rounds, and especially for a team like NaVi as well. They want weak utility for the CT side because they're at their best when they play slow rounds. They're more than happy. They're very comfortable to allow Astralis to waste the utility and to play a slow round.
Well, talking of playing a slow round, that's anything but what we're witnessing right now as these pistols go pushing on through, looking to see if they can find themselves a few quick frags or anything remotely similar to that, but nothing will come through. Only one shot on towards Zeus, which did lead to his eventual death, but even then, you're kind of clutching at straws if you think they're going to be getting anything more. They should be cleared out. It should be simple pickings now for NaVi, especially when you've got Edward kind of hopping around with his SMG. That Mac-10 is so hungry to make some money. The smoke's all in the right place, but Xyp9x being given opportunities. I don't like the fact he's got a rifle. He takes him down. How is this happening? 50 seconds, a 2 versus 2.
You can see right now NaVi unable to make the decision to go back towards B or to go towards the A-bomb site. Smart call though, as Flamey should be able to take full control of the A-bomb site. Even though they found those 2 crucial kills, they are lacking Kevlar, lacking utility to go for any chance of a retake here. As the bomb will go down, no kit, no Kevlar. If Astralis want to win this one, these have to be instant kills.
It's all on Xyp9x. But who else do you want in this scenario? I feel like he is always the man to get this done. Going to be heading carefully up on towards this balcony, peeking outside of Apps, of course. The flash is thrown. But he should know where that's been thrown from because he saw it fly through midair. Even now the head of Flamey coming right on up, but Flamey quick. He's played an incredible map so far. And a shot that will cement this round for NaVi. There's nothing Dupree can do. Quicker than anything, he'll try and look for something. But he's hoping for a rifle. But even then, buddy, your chances are done. Picks up the AK in the body of a dead man, actually. So fair play to him. That's about all he really wants from this.
Round number 25. 12-12. So far, so very good for the T side, sorry, from NaVi. As soon as they started to show control towards Banana, these CT-sided rounds have been a lot harder for Astralis. They're lacking the information they had on Nuke. On Nuke, they were pushing towards ramp, pushing towards outside. Not only were they gaining their first kill, they were also gaining the information to go for their rotations, go for their stacks towards the sites. Now that NaVi are really trying to gain control of real estate towards Banana, towards late middle and apartments, you can see the lack of information, how much harder it is to rotate on your CT side on a map like Inferno. Nevertheless, though, once again, control towards Banana, trying to be obtained by NaVi.
Zeus going to be going almost first in here, which is an interesting play to see. Waiting to see if anyone will be jumping on over, but Glaive doing just the same. If they contemplate a boost, it's going to be awkward, both sides staring at each other. The smoke, though, playing the timing perfectly. As Zeus does secure the frag. Flash to be thrown will tuck him into the corner. But at this point, his teammate, well, he's right there in front of him. Electronic going diving on forward. Leaps and bounds on towards this B site. Device so far out of the action. Kirby at least securing a kill towards A. But that's nothing in comparison to what's going on towards this other site. Device trying so desperately. But through that smoke, nothing will be found.
Potentially a save call here from Astralis as the bomb is down towards B. Smoke onto Zeus as well, so we can delay the CT retake even longer. Another smoke as well for Edward if they want to delay the push. Anyway, these kills as well. Astralis unable to save their weaponry into the next round.
We're at such a close point in this game now that every kill after these rounds, everything means something, because the money for Astralis is going to be all over the place.
Precisely. Obviously losing now, I believe it is 4 rounds in a row after having the 11-8, 12-8, or 12-9 scoreline even. As now will be 4 rounds on the trot. They will have the maximum round loss bonus at 3.4k. The problem is, though, you can see, even with the $3,000 they've got, Device can buy, but apart from that, no one else can.
It's expensive being a CT. I mean, it's not about just getting a rifle out. All that utility as well. Astralis need to survive.
And this is the thing, the utility is so crucial versus a team like NaVi. I think one of the hardest things about playing versus NaVi is, do you use your smokes too late? So we saw in Inferno, sorry, we saw in Nuke where they're using late Molotovs, they're using late smokes, and they're really countering the T side from NaVi on Nuke. On a map like Inferno, it's very easy to up the tempo instantly, rush towards Banana, rush towards middle, rush towards and do an apartments burst, where if you don't use those preemptive mollies, the preemptive smokes, the preemptive flashbangs, it's very hard to tame the players, hold off the aggression from Banana from the T side. So it's a map where Zeus can really up the tempo, slow the pace down, and he can really work his magic on a map like Nuke. Inferno. Got that one there.
Yeah, it didn't really work out for Nuke, did it?
No.
Inferno, much better story. Glaive at least going to be surprising with the CZ, and I have seen some nightmarish scenes when Astralis has been given that first blood. However, this time, well, it looks like it's all going fairly well for NaVi. Zipnik's causing a bit of a problem on Zeus, but nothing more. Detroit does find the trade. Epwood taking down Dupree, and it all starts to roll into one. The 14th round for NaVi, which is a telling point for how this game could potentially end.
14-12 as Kiabi can try and save us Kevlar. Obviously saves the Kevlar, saves himself $750. $750 is what? Diffuse kit, smoke grenade, smoke double flashbang. So that utility could be crucial going forward. And it seems like NaVi will be allowing him to save. Going into the next buy round, what's the change now going to be from Astralis? Are we going to be seeing 3 towards Banana at the start of the round, smoke towards the bottom of it, 2 mollies coming out towards obviously close to Banana and the middle of Banana, and that way you can try to take control of it, leave Device or leave Zipnix, leave Glaive alone towards B, rotate forward towards the A site. Obviously NaVi constantly going towards B. At what point are they going to go back towards the A site? Going for that reverse psychology, I guess. Interesting to see as we go into round number 27. The buy from Astralis will be good. They can buy up full utility here as well.
Double up if they want it to.
Double up versus what NaVi are doing, I don't think a double up setup would be too strong. The reason being is the way that NaVi are taking control of Banana is very utility heavy. You see they're flashing through the smokes, they're mollying the corners, they're doing smokes towards CT, smoking off coils, and all would be rendered useless. The way a double up setup is really prevalent is versus a team that goes for more contact style plays. If we were seeing NaVi walking up Banana, if we saw NaVi walking into apartments, if we saw NaVi walking into middle, very, very different story.
It'll be interesting if they do try and contest that Banana hold a lot more. We saw them right at the start of this half. Throwing that deep smoke, the deep flashes as well, they're actually really pushing them back, whereas towards the latter end, they've been taking a lot of those fights towards the tip of Banana around sandbags and the likes of Carl.
It's risky. It's very risky. Obviously, if you win those duels, it's great. You get the early kills on your CT side, you force them back, you don't give control of top Banana. But what you can do, actually, is give up control of top Banana on purpose. This might sound strange at first, but listen to me. What we see some teams do, Renegades were doing it at the Asian Minor, actually, is you allow the T's to take control of top Banana. You wait, and then you Molotov the top of Banana, You double flashbang, you double peek, and you catch those players that are holding for the rotations, because what happens is the T's take control of Banana, they leave 1 or 2 players there, they rotate back towards middle, they take control of mid. You try and isolate that one player, you try to isolate those 2 players towards top Banana with the Molotov, with the flashbangs, and then take control of Banana with the kills, and then suddenly looking at a 5 versus 4, we have control of the map.
Well, certainly some interesting stuff. Hopefully we see something like that take place. It's an interesting discussion just over how Banana plays out. It's such a hot point in Inferno matchups. Here, of course, we are seeing just a single Molly, pushing back NaVi just a little bit, but it's interesting that you just talk about them giving up Banana control. I'm looking at that right now.
Exactly. The reason being is they know that NaVi are wasting a lot of utility towards that portion of the map. Smoke comes out, and now you can see potentially a counter smoke from Glaive. Even the counter, oh, he hasn't got the Molly actually, so this is going to be a lot harder to hold off.
That was my thing. I want to see how they respond to the fact that NaVi are just going to walk on up and take these duels. Bloodthirsty play. Zeus going almost first man and an entry fragger, and apparent pride, it seems. Xyp9x finds himself too, looking now for a third. The headshot looking likely, transferring so much damage on Simple as he manages to survive. But not long before, the AWP of Device cements Astralis as the leading team. 3 versus 1. Flamey, the last man standing. He's going to be caught off guard by Kirby.
Incredible. Incredible defensive play there from Xyp9x. A massive spray down to really change the course of that round. I said before how hard it is to play versus NaVi, because they can slow the pace of the round down, and they can also up the tempo, play a very high octane style of CS in a heartbeat. You saw Glaive was reluctant to throw his smoke out early on because he knows that NaVi want to work the clock. He knows that if he throws that smoke out, once that smoke's gone, there's no defense towards the B side in terms of utility. And because he kept onto that smoke, it paid into what NaVi was trying to do, going for the fast play. And you saw they try to capitalize off of it, but unfortunately Xyp9x was too strong as the anchor player towards the B site. Decimated 3 players and gave new life now to Astralis into this map.
Yeah, back into this one and swinging. Dupree trying to hold down short, but going to be completely forced back. Edward taking down Device, starting strong. The defensive flash going to be thrown over from Pit. Dupree continuing to recede into the site itself, knowing short is under so much pressure. And he drops down the smoke, leaves him trapped in the corner, adding almost an airy feeling of doubt in the minds of NaVi as they try and take the site, but they begin to crumble. Simple did lose his life not long before Edward could strike one back. Zeus, Flamey, they're all adding into it, and just like that, Flamey, a double kill. Again, it's Flamey acting as the deciding portion of the NaVi play. 24-20, it doesn't seem all that good, but it's the impact he's had.
Worst case scenario for Astralis. You have a 12-9 lead. You lose 5 rounds in a row. You finally claim a round on the board, 13-14. You think, we're back into this one, boys, off the back of the big play from Xyp9x. Instant reset now. Look at their money, look at their arsenal, look at the inventory going forward. Only 1 M4 for Device. No kits across the board for the CT side. Decent utility, but then again, probably like to see 1 kit, at least as a bare minimum. 3 CZs, UMP there for Kiabi, M4 for Device. They're lacking the defuse kit. They're lacking the high level of utility. If we see a slow round now from NaVi, there should be a very high chance for the Ukrainians and the Russians to close this one out 16-13.
I think that's the greatest question you can ask, is just, do NaVi have an incredibly strong read of this round? Because if they do, the round should be theirs. It should basically feed into their palms. So we'll have to see. Smoke to be thrown, flash as well following up. Device playing tucked in towards this corner. A bit of damage being exchanged, but nothing really to be screaming about. I mean, look at NaVi, 51, 55, 52. That's actually quite important, those 3 players being knocked down to half HP.
Especially as well for the CZs. Obviously, below, what, 80 HP, 70 HP. Suddenly those CZs are a one-shot headshot.
Let's see if those pocket cannons can actually convert damage into a kill, though. So many times in Counter-Strike, we talk about just where a player is at, how much HP do they have, and the idea of those one-shot headshots, but they still manage to survive. NaVi just forcing Glaive to move up further forward. Posting still for anything.
Oh, you can see right now Dupree rotating in from Speedway towards the B site. It's a poor call. Only 2 players now from Astralis to hold off the aggression from NaVi.
Device starting to do work, does find Edward. Zeus as well, going to lose his life very early on in this push. Simple, Flamey all coming next in. 1 by 1 they fall. This is badly done by NaVi. Every player went almost single-handedly into the crosshair of Astralis. Instead of playing together, instead of those well-timed flashes, we just saw basic peaks. Very punishing.
Precisely. Obviously, they had 15 seconds left to try and get the bomb down towards the A site. You know, it's notorious where when you play the very slow style of CS that Zeus sometimes wants to go for, obviously you do run that risk of trying to get the bomb down frantically in a panic when there's only 10 seconds left. That's the price you pay for forcing out all the utility from the CT side. It's the price you pay for really applying so much pressure for the CT side, keeping them guessing as well in terms of rotations. Nevertheless, though, NaVi taking the tactical timeout. 15-14, they want to get this one done in regulation.
So important, really. I mean, to kind of go back to where NaVi are at in the standings, their round difference is so close.
Do you know what's crazy as well, Ryan? They have before this game, they had an 11-round difference across all of their maps played. That loss, 16-4 on Nuke, is 11 rounds. They've doubled their round difference in one map. Goes to show how close their games are.
Well, outside of that previous map, it really is the one distant result of a wide variety of close matchups. So now we see one round to decide it all, overtime or bust. The Danes looking to make it happen. Fairly even in terms of the utility and real weaponry. It's a true test of both these lineups.
So, Zimnix alone towards the B side, is playing towards first oranges, so not having any information towards banana means a rotation will come in. You can see how important it is to force it back to the CT side, and now they can go for this fake, and this fake should be very, very sellable.
Glaive contemplating rotating, decides to stand his ground.
Oh, they've done their job though, they've forced the Molotov. There's still a minute left on the clock, Ryan, and already both of the Molotovs now towards the B bomb site have been used. This could really fall back in the favor for NaVi. They can take control of top mid, smoke out Arch, throw flashbangs, Molotovs towards Arch, and then fall back towards B. They know there's no Molotovs now to fend off the re-execution towards the B bomb site.
You see them holding their smokes. Edward, Simple, and Electronic all waiting, biding their time, waiting for that moment. 35 seconds now, the setup is in play. Smoke to be thrown from Zipnix to try and push them back, right onto the legs of Electronic almost. But he'll just turn his back and get ready for that flash to come through. There is no stopping power. They're completely blind. Zipnix tearing into them. There's one going for a second. Flamey with the refract device holding off the cross. This AWP has to land its first shot. And he will. The flash to follow up as well. The repeak. The potential is there. Edward leaving a completely blind Glaive. Getting hungry with the MP9. But Edward at it again to make it a 1v2. Desperately trying to plant the pre to equal it out 15-15.
And there you have it, we are going to overtime. An incredible smoke thrown by Zipnix, which means with 30 seconds left, they have to run through that wall of smoke. It's so hard to try to jump through it. Obviously, Zipnix gets the first kill, and you saw the instant panic and how terrified of the paranoia from NaVi to run through the smoke as soon as they knew that Zipnix was there.
A quick switch back with AWP. Talk about just how important that first kill was. If he doesn't find that player crossing, it opens up for so many issues on the rest of the site. Completely puts that defense into frenzy.
Does indeed. And now for overtime as well, everything's reset, right? Suddenly the money from Astralis being reset doesn't matter. The fact that NaVi had such a strong lead, they had $10,000 at some point when they had the 5-round victory in a row, doesn't matter. All their money. The thing is, the worrying sign for NaVi is Astralis are starting on their stronger side, the CT side. So if you do concede 2 rounds and it goes 17-16 in favor of Astralis on the CT side, which it should, as it is, you know, the favored side for themselves. Suddenly for NaVi, they have to win all 3 rounds in a row on their CT side defense. There's so much pressure on them if that happens.
Makes things excruciatingly tough, but you know what? We'll have to see how it does play out as we are live. 15-15 is the scoreline. If you have just joined us, this map number 2. A Slaughter was the first map, but this is so much better. As already we see the early utility being thrown down, Bernardo, a frag grenade. And Zipnix down to 74 HP, but Dupree taking first contact on Edward, leading to an early kill for Astralis. So much better than just throwing a simple nade.
Dupree as well, going to be keeping the pace high as he peeks in towards Spoiler. As he goes for the formation, actually gets with the advantage there from Astralis. 4 versus 4 now. Minute 10 seconds left on the clock, and now you're going to be favouring NaVi to this scenario. But as I said, that they're through the smoke, Zipnix will get that kill onto Zeus.
That's just exactly what you need if you're Astralis, right? You're down on your luck almost, and Zipnix just pulls it right back through the bottom of Banana Smoke. We talked about it in the kind of regulation time, how Astralis had changed up really what they were doing. They do it again here, back to that early play, throwing the deep smoke. Zipnik stuck in this corner, but he's happy to be there. So much information. Is the core of NaVi will all be up towards A, beginning to maneuver themselves up on towards short. Problem is, outside of apps, they're being funneled in from one position. The crossfires could be just absolutely decimating, and that's all we see. Device with one, Kirby, Glaive all chiming in for just another kill. Astralis, 16-15. The first round of OT going their way.
30 frags for Dupree now. And on the flip side, ironically, Electronic on 27, so the new recruit, the new star player brought in, obviously performing on his NaVi debut. 16-15 and worrying signs right now for NaVi. You have the early momentum in the first half. You have the late momentum in the second half. You had 2 match points as well. You've now lost 3 rounds in a row. We consider the fact that this was 15-13. Oh, sorry, 15, yeah. 15-14, 15-15, 15-16. So 3 rounds lost in a row for NaVi. Their T side is now lacking what it had earlier on. When they had the early control towards Banana, it was all working in their favor.
Cohesive play from Astralis too, blocking off Simple for his repeat that he tried to pull off with the AWP. I mean, it forces NaVi back over on towards this A play. They're left with no other alternative than trying to abuse Long. Glaive knows full well what's going on, has to decide on the molly, does throw it, forcing Electronic to swing right into him, doesn't take the duel, just backs away, and this is perfect. Astralis, they know what's going on. It's the follow-up flash. He knows the angle of Zeus. Electronic desperately trying to survive up against Zipnik, who tries to go for the double. Dupree picking off Edward. NaVi, how do they climb out of this hole? Dupree right behind them, caught towards the bottom of mid. That's a chance, a thinly veiled chance, but a chance nonetheless. But Glaive back in arch, holding this cross. They have to be aware of that fact. It's all on timing. Simple was peeking it. He'll lose his life. Kirby knows full well what's going on. Swings out, finds the head of Zeus, goes to finish it off, and he finds Flamey. Just like that, Astralis, 17-15. NaVi looking very, very rough now.
Thankfully for NaVi, it is MR3, 16k. So they can still buy for all 3 of these rounds, which I like. I like it when, obviously, we get 3 buy rounds. Obviously, in the last iteration where it was MR3, 10k, you know, NaVi right now will be onto UMPs, CZs. They're going to be so low. It's nice to see we get 3 full buy rounds from these squads. Nevertheless, though, 17-15. This is the worrying sign I was depicting, right? Now for NaVi, they have to win this final round. And going into their CT half, they have to win all 3 in the trot if they want to close this one out in the first OT.
The molly set up towards Banana. They come pushing on in. NaVi starting to reel away shots with his AWP. Just a 1 so far, but the second almost certainly will come. As he plays the corner, smoke in hand as well. It's a decision from Astralis on when do they throw. They try and hold back so much of their utility. The question of NaVi hovering over their minds. That play style, so haunting.
There's still a minute 10 left on the clock. There's no reason for NaVi to get audacious towards B. Just slow the pace down, take control of the map now. You still have a minute to work with. You have time to take control of middle, smoke off arch, flash mid, get your AWP to peek towards quad, take control of middle, force the CTs back onto the site, on the A bomb site, and then suddenly you can throw a fake towards the A site, go back towards B. There's so many more options for yourself.
Oh, Glaive peeking into them. There's 2 going for a third. Edward looking almost confused, but Flamey gonna pull the headshot out of the bag. That could be just what NaVi need. 17 HP between 2 players. You've got Electronic on 55. That's a start. But look at Kirby on these hay bales. This is huge. Flamey almost peeking right into the gap. And if he does, that's a headshot that Kirby lands every day of the week. Device going to be around the corner of Library just to deal with the refrag needed on apps. Securing Astralis that perfect 3-0.
18-15. NaVi. Before I mentioned that, if it went 17-16, they need to win all 3 consecutively if they want a chance of winning the first OT. Now they can no longer do that. They can't win in first overtime. They have to win 3 in a row on their CT side here, Ryan, to force second overtime.
Molly's coming out.
It's
yeah, I was just having a little thought to myself. That's awkward.
Do you know what, mate? It happens to the best of us. Definitely doesn't. I'm just trying to help you out.
Yeah, I'm going to sit in my corner now. Oh.
15-18. So, 3 match points here for Astralis. We saw NaVi concede a 15-13 lead, where they had 2 match points to throw away, and your face is going completely red. You are very embarrassed.
I'm just like, I was dealing with something real quick for like a little outro piece. If we get
to
that
very
point,
red.
You know, it's just like, oh, this is awkward. I tell you what's awkward as well, though, the aggression towards Banana.
Oh my God.
Edward taking so much damage in that molly, but the smoke is thrown.
Seems like he's red as well, but nevertheless, Glaive getting close towards Banana. Hopefully a flashbang comes in to aid him. As right now trying to listen to the audio cue, see if he can find an opportunity in the net gateway to get this first kill.
So much being thrown. The second molly coming out. I mean, they're so red at this point. Flamey 5 HP. They're all falling to pieces. The Vice burning down Flamey, leaving just Zeus and Electronic. They will re-peak. But how much can they do? Oh, Zeus, hello. Taking down Glaive through the smoke. Dupree is going to force him into an ace clutch.
Oh, here's the bomb. Does he realize it though? Zeus in the 1 versus 3 had the bomb in his grasp towards T-stairs, but instead runs past it. None the wiser, but it gets the first kill onto Kiabi, 1 versus 2.
Oh, this is actually doable. 50 seconds, 1 player to find the mastermind that is Zeus. Dupree playing towards the depths of mid. This is all on timing.
Problem is right now for Dupree, sorry for Zeus is, Dupree has a smoke, Molotov, double flashbang. He has the utility advantage, has the health advantage, but if Zeus is quick enough, catches him with the plant, there's definitely a chance here.
It's too late. It's just not going to happen. The smoke as well comes out. The angle is going to be peaked. He's waiting for it. The jump, Dupree! Oh, the panic sets into his mind for just a second. You see him shake it off at the end. But there it is. The result comes through. Astralis, they do eke it out, but it was very close. And coming into OT says a lot about NaVi.
Does indeed. I mean, obviously so far in the, how they've done in Season 6 of Pro League, 11 round difference before this best of 2. That goes to show how close these games have been. And we saw, obviously this is a new team. I don't want to be harping on them too much, but trying to close out this game. 15-13. Astralis, their money is so low. Somehow, someway, the Danes fight back into it. They claim that 14th. They have a massive 30th round. And they get into overtime. And they win 4 rounds in the trot. When you factor in as well, Ryan, I'm going to call you Jack then. When you factor in as well, Ryan, the 2 extra rounds as well from regulation to force OT, that was 6 rounds in a row, won by Astralis towards the latter portions of the final moments of this second map. So a 2-0 from Astralis. Does that knock NaVi out of Pro League? Any chance of Pro League finals, or are they secured into relegations now? I'm not quite too sure.
It's a good question. I mean, Mihao, our wonderful Pro League admin, was tweeting earlier on that every single team still has a chance to make it, but every result also meant something. So it was interesting to see kind of how it all does add up. Of course, we're still seeing in front of us some of the highlight moments in this game. That was nice by Kirby. Back-to-back headshots.
Yeah, the spread as well from Glaive to really cement that. 18th round, at that point, it pretty much was GG. I mean, 18-15. In terms of how the end of the game was shaping up as well, all the momentum in favor of Astralis, they were going to get that final round, and they did so. So far, so good. To be honest with you, I'm actually impressed from NaVi. I was actually expecting worse. I was thinking a whitewash on Nuke, because obviously you're lacking on your T-side especially. You're going to be lacking your strats, your tactics to fall back on. If you don't have Simple and Electronic basically killing everyone in the server, what do you fall back on? They had nothing, obviously, being a brand new team. On Inferno, they showed great prowess. They showed great individual skill, great plays, smart rotations as well. Their T-sides were very strong. I like to see the, Zeus is probably my favorite call in terms of the T-sides. You saw how hard it is to play versus a player like him, where he can slow the pace right down and he can really up the level as well at a, click of his fingers. So, great play so far. I'm actually impressed with NaVi. The problem is, obviously, this is at the end of Season 6, so there's not really too much they can change going forward. But into Season 7, if they get there, obviously, with the relegation matches, if it goes south for them so far.
I think at the end of the day, they've energized their roster.
To be honest, for a debut, they get a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5 out of 10? Look at you whipping out the ratings.
You got to remember, this is Astralis. This is an overtime game on Inferno. They had no chance ever of winning Nuke, obviously. But in Inferno, they had a chance. 15-13, they definitely could have won it.
Even with Astralis taking it, the fact they even forced overtime says a lot in itself for me.
Of course, I mean, the experience, the wealth of experience throughout the whole of that roster, the fact they stayed together, they can come back from those deficits.
For sure. Nonetheless, this is just day 1 of Pro League this week, of course, over on the B stream. We've got a second day for you tomorrow, as well as another matchup coming on Saturday as we round out the end of this online season of play. So let's take a look at exactly what we're going to be getting into tomorrow's games. I mean, there are some definitely good matches at Counter-Strike.
I haven't taken a look. What are we going to be covering tomorrow? GT versus Hellraisers. Okay, Hellraisers obviously performed very well at Shanghai. It seems like Issa's really found his form. I remember casting Issa's first debut in Hellraisers with Wosik, and it was definitely a stark contrast like that, dropping 5 and 6 kills. I remember harping on it, but now it seems like he's really found his form and his place in the team. And North versus Heroic. Well, that's going to be a good one at that.
Heroic coming right off the back of playing NIP as well, right before that on the mainstream, so they're definitely going to be...
They'll be hot going into that one.
Yeah,
it's a hard day for them tomorrow in terms of all their
hot day as well for them today. They lost to G2 as well today, didn't they? I think it was like 16-6 and
they lost to Astralis as well, yes. Oh, that was ECS.
Yeah. So, Nonetheless, some interesting results coming through the Counter-Strike sphere as a whole. Of course, ECS, a variety of tournaments all in play. It creates just a very interesting ecosystem for all these teams that are battling out every single day.
Then again, you know, does it actually deduct from the interest?
Yeah.
The fact that there's so many online leagues, there's so many games going on at a time. At what point do these players just think, oh gosh, another online match? You know, how much motivation goes into it? But nevertheless, we saw obviously for Astralis, they wanted to show a lot. They wanted to prove a point to NaVi, say we're not scared of Eve. They got electronic, and for NaVi, obviously on the debut, they wanted to show that they've really got it.
Well, you talk about online CS, you talk about people's interest. I'll tell you what's interesting. The ESL Pro League and the road to Odense, teams looking to finish themselves off this week, get themselves secured to play in that stadium. Find out who will make it tomorrow as we continue to round out the last week of ESL Pro League.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.